Hallelujah. We finally came up with a name. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first true episode, standalone episode on Rec Room Sports Hub. It is around the diamond here. It is wonderful. And also, shout out to Tanner Dawson for helping with the background. Obviously, he helped with the intro, as you could tell by Bobby Witt Jr. there at the end. Because, that's the only good thing they have right now. Royals stink. I mean, their pitching's been they've been pitching pretty well at the very least.
They just announced a new stadium is going to be built in downtown Kansas City.
Yep. Just now, or
like this? It was that happened this afternoon.
Oh yeah, true, definitely. I mean, again, the only good thing that's happening for them right now, because Lord knows Tanner doesn't want to talk about it at this point. But yeah, we got a lot of baseball to talk. Scott will be hopping on momentarily. His Red Sox are going through it as well. Not a good start for them. Meanwhile, Jonathan, you and I are on cloud nine right now. Well, you more so than I am, but Rangers currently have a slim lead in the AL West, and the Braves coasting in the NL East with the two most hated rivals sitting at the bottom of the division. So great to be a Braves fan right now.
With the percentage points behind the Dodgers for the best record in all of baseball at 16-8, and the Dodgers and Padres both are tied with 16-7. So, this Braves baseball's back after what was a down year last year. Injuries kind of hurt us. The front office basically said we're going to hit the reboot button, not the reset, reboot it, get everybody back, add some pieces. This team is still too talented. Let's run it back one more time. Let's keep going. And sure enough, they hit it on the head that they were going to get it healthy. They were going to get figured out. And they're playing good baseball here, which is after last season going 0-7, and that made the last team in baseball to win a game. 16-8 right now. It's a refresher to see how this the first month of the season is going for Atlanta, and I'm enjoying like I said, especially with the Mets and Phillies both combined or 20 straight losses or something like that.
It's crazy. It's crazy. You are literally the only team in the division with a winning record. Everybody else is below 500.
All is right in the world. That's all I got to say about it.
Because the Mets started off 7-4. They've lost 12 straight. It has not looked good. They have looked awful over the course of the last couple of weeks. I believe one of those series it was the Dodgers that got swept by Colorado. Which was kind of a surprising one. I believe it was the White Sox. The White Sox swept the Mets at one point this season. So it has not been good for the Metropolitans right now.
And the Braves are still the last team in baseball to not lose a series at all this season so far. And if the score holds like it is right now in D.C., that streak will continue as the Braves are up 8-4 in the bottom of the fifth inning. So you got to play good baseball in April, set you up for success through the summer at least. So, this is what they're doing. Good baseball, good pitching, fielding the baseball well, and timely hitting. Timely hitting I think we always talk about, especially as a hitting coach, I talk to my guys all the time about when timely hitting matters most. And runners in scoring position is where you make your money, especially if you're bopper hitters, you're the middle of the order type of guy. Your job is to make money by driving in runners and with a timely hitting. And they've been doing it not just with Olsen, not just doing it with Riley, not just doing it with Drake Baldwin, but Mauricio Dubon has been a key asset to this team so far. Michael Harris in the 9th spot has been absolutely phenomenal. So you're getting your opportunities, timely hitting when matters most, but not just by your middle of the order guys, but your 7 hitter, your 9 hitter, your 2-0 hitter. These guys are producing early on right now, and it is absolutely phenomenal to see in Atlanta, and that's why they're 16-8 so far and number 1 in the East.
Mm-hmm. And offense has been key for everybody because I saw the stat today. Mets, even though like we said, they've lost 12 in a row, their bullpen has the second best ERA in baseball. That just kind of tells you how bad their offense truly has been in the course of this losing streak. They just have not been able to produce runs at all.
Well, there's a bigger issue in New York, and his name is Juan Soto and it's really two names, Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor. That I think Steve Cohen misappropriated what team building is supposed to be. And if you have your leader, who is Francisco Lindor, and then you bring somebody else in that says we're going to make him the face of the franchise, and he's not understanding really what the franchise is needing, you have conflicting issues. And that's what's going on in the last 2 years, is that apparently Lindor and Soto don't see eye to eye with each other. They don't like each other. There is issues amongst those two. And that was another reason why, and so the alleged, story is why Pete Alonso was not brought back, because he didn't side well with Juan Soto. He was more with Francisco Lindor, and made a business decision that is going to haunt this team all. I think it's going to be all season. There's going to be a lot of issues that this is not a short-term fix. You can't fix this issue short-term wise. This is something that's going to have to either take a long time for them to finally just sit down in a room and kumbaya with each other, or you're not getting along at all, and you're going to have your two biggest names in the franchise despise each other, and they can sit here and tell the media whatever they want. But you can tell Francisco Lindor, he's not the same player right now based off of his demeanor. We always see Francisco, even from his Cleveland days to where he's been in New York, he's a giant kid, smiling, happy as can be, enjoying the game. You haven't seen that out of him over the last year and a month so far. That he is not the same guy. He's not the same player. His demeanor is not the same as it's been throughout his career. There is an issue. There is an issue. And if I'm Manuel in the Mets, I don't know how to fix this, because you just invested $700 million to Juan Soto. You're not trading him. And you got $300 million to Francisco Lindor. You can't trade him either. What do you do if you're Steve Cohen? I don't know. And as a Braves fan, the turmoil is unbelievably amazing to watch.
Now, I know we're going to get a lot of new viewers here for this channel specifically, but you have a very good Mets story that you've told on this show before in the past. I don't know if he's frozen or not, but goodness, I was really hoping. Wonderful internet connections that we all have, and it's also probably the weather. So, how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a great night. We're definitely going to get into a lot of baseball talk here tonight. As we go in, we got give you kind of a bit of a score update right now. We got some games going on. Tigers leading the Brewers 4-1 right now. That game's about to go into the seventh inning. Brewers 13-9. They're kind of hanging around middle of the pack. They're actually dead last in the division right now, which that whole division as a whole, the NL Central, has been very surprising. From the Pirates who are kind of coming back to earth a little bit, to the Cardinals, who have gotten off to a hot start. They also kind of coming back to earth a little bit. But every team in that division has a winning record. Boston leading 4-0 over the Yankees the Yankees leading 4-0 over the Red Sox right now. Boston just has not looked good here to start out. As Jonathan mentioned, his Braves leading 8-4 over the Nationals. There he is. Internet again.
I thought I got past this issue. I thought I did, because it's been a long time since I've had that happen. So it's part. I know I'm enjoying my time here in Beeville, Texas, coaching at Coastal Bend, but I can't wait to move to a place where my internet's gonna be better.
I mean, yeah, fair. I understand that. Yeah, that's not looking good. Scott's Red Sox not looking good either. They're falling. They're down right now 4-0 to the Yankees, they've been kind of spotty at best too. But the NL Central, I was talking about this while you were fixing your internet there. The NL Central has been probably the most surprising division thus far. Every team above 500, Cubs, Cardinals, Pirates, Brewers, even the Reds, all 5 teams are playing well so far.
Yeah, and I think I think when we talked about this division, we kind of did say it was going to be pretty competitive. Was the Cardinals going to be what they're doing right now? I didn't think they were going to be. I think they're still going to kind of fall off at some point just because of what they've done with their roster construction over the offseason. Pittsburgh, we kind of knew that they had to do a little bit. They had to do something to at least show that they're going to be competitive to keep Paul Skeens throughout this season and whatnot. Looked at it, it was going to be potentially a 3-team race with the Brewers, Cubs, and Reds. And I think I made the call about the Reds being the division winner. We went over when we talked about the division. I think this is not really a surprise. I think this is going to be a balanced division. Is it going to be a top-heavy? Is it going to be? Are we going to consider that any of these 5 teams are one of the best in the NL? With the Braves and Dodgers? No, I don't think we will. I think they're going to be a pesky team. All of them are going to be pesky to who you're playing against and who you're trying to do. Again, Pittsburgh does have good pitching. Is their offense going to be good enough throughout the season to score runs to help the pitching? That's to be determined. Is the Cardinals going to play good enough to continue this trend with where they're at? I doubt it. It goes down to, can the Cubs stay healthy? I think that's a better question to ask. Are you going to stay healthy and you're going to be able to continue this production that you're doing offensively with what they have and the pitching staff? Is they going to stay healthy throughout? I think that's going to be the question for Chicago more than anything else is not the fact that they're not. Are they talented enough to win games and to win this division? Are they going to be healthy enough? So, I think that's if they do, they're going to be in the thick of things throughout the season as well. Again, very competitive division. I think we've talked about that. We said that. We mentioned it, but I'm not putting any of these 5 in the conversation of the best in the NL with the Dodgers, Padres, and Braves right now. Not quite. I need to see a little bit more from them to do so. But at the same time, is it going to be Is it going to be like this throughout the year? I think it will. I think it's going to be a very competitive division. Going into May, going into the summer and June and July, and then the second half of the season as well, where this is going to be a tight race throughout the year.
Mm-hmm. Is there any team? I mean, obviously the Phillies are probably kind of one because a lot of people expected them to be pretty good right out of the gate. Is there any team you just kind of looked at and were like, you're kind of disappointed in? Like, how did this happen to them go early on?
If I give you a team in both the NL and the AL, it's Philadelphia is number one. And you could say the Mets, but I think at the same time with the Mets decisions, what they've made, not bringing back Alonso and not even really helping your pitching staff, I don't think the expectations were really all that high in New York. So with Philadelphia, having their team, constructed the way it was, basically running it back with an older roster. But again, it's a roster that's won the division 2 straight years. I think you would think that, especially how they looked against Atlanta in Philadelphia, getting swept for the first time by a Braves team in 10 years in Philly, you almost saw lifelessness, in that lineup and in that team. That there's going to be there's true legitimate concerns and questions about how competitive Philadelphia could be. I think at some point, they're going to get it figured out and they're going to right the ship and get hot. It's a matter of when is that going to happen. We're not writing them. I'm not writing them all and saying that they're not going to be competitive throughout the year, that their season's over here on April 22nd. But there is some concerns. Is this roster too old? I know they have some younger guys brought in. Crawford in center field is getting opportunities and he's played well at times. I know Alec Boehm's still in his 20s. But you have JT Realmuto, he had a back issue against the Braves. Turner's in his 30s. Harper's in his 30s. Schwarber's in his 30s. Trying to think who else. Stott's probably late 20s. Marsh is in his 30s. This is an older team. And that's just the position players. I'm not even talking about the pitchers. I know Christopher Sanchez is young, but you're bringing back Zach Wheeler, who had a serious injury. He's in his 30s. How effective is he going to be with this coming back from the thoracic outlet syndrome that he suffered from last year? That's a big question mark. So I'm not, like I said, I'm just emphasizing, I'm not writing off the Phillies, but they are the biggest disappointment in the National League by a wide margin so far. The American League, I think we talked about it just now about Scott's Red Sox. I think we looked at them saying that they were going to be a team that's going to truly compete in this division. with the Yankees, and with the Blue Jays. I think you could probably say the Blue Jays, if not the Red Sox, the Blue Jays are the other disappointment team. A team that was at the World Series, was really an inning away from winning the World Series, and you could actually even say one catch by Pagaz in left field away from winning the World Series. And we're seeing them at 10 and 14 and just kind of sputtering a little bit right now. They're not really the same dynamic that we saw from them last year. I think you could look at both the AL East teams, the Red Sox and the Blue Jays, as the disappointments, the top disappointments in the American League. You could pick another team like the Royals. I think we thought the Royals might be a little bit more competitive.
I think we all picked the Royals to win the AL Central, and they have not looked good at all.
Yeah, I think we all did because I think it was either the Royals or Cleveland. But I think we all picked the Royals were going to be a more competitive team with it, and they're sputtering right now. 1-9 their last 10, struggling completely. I'm not going to sit here and look at the West and say there's anybody disappointment. I think you could probably say the Mariners, but we did say that the Mariners were going to take a big step back because their offense is not what they didn't bring Eugenio Suarez back. A lot of questions going to be had with that lineup. Is Julio Rodriguez going to actually take the big step that they've been needing him to do? Clearly, it's not the case. The pitching staff is, up and down. But I think the lack of performance by the Red Sox and Blue Jays overtakes the disappointment of the Mariners and Royals so far. Just because I think you looked at both those two teams as division winners, potential division winners, and World Series contenders. And for them just being, again, I think you could use the same. I could use the same word if I described the Phillies as almost lifeless. Out the gate right now, and just so Boston particularly, there's still issues with this clubhouse. There's still issues with what's going on, and I know Alex Cora is looking at it in every form of facet and saying, what can I do to at least get these guys on the same page? But you're mishandling situations with Duran and struggling with getting him on the page where he is supposed to be he's your all-star. I don't, and Scott can give me the answer on this on who the actual face of the franchise is for the Red Sox. I would think it would be Duran, but he's not playing like it. And now you're having media talks with Alex Cora about issues with Duran and how he's not been playing as well so much, or how he's not playing as much. There is so many issues that just continues to plague this franchise over the last 2 years that you would think someone like Alex Cora, who's been a World Series winner, he's been known as one of the. I'll still say he's a top 5 manager in the game, and he is mishandling another situation that is hurting this franchise so far this season. That I don't know what you got to do if you're Cora to fix this and just say, look, we all, players, coaches, manager, front office, all have to be on the same page with one another so we can turn this around and actually start winning ball games again like we're supposed to in Boston. I don't know when that's going to start happening because he continues to have to manage on the field, but even more so off the field.
It's Vaughn Grissom. It's the face of the Red Sox franchise. It's Vaughn Grissom. It's an abject failure in Boston right now. I don't know what you're gonna. I don't know what to do. I mean, they're losing again 4-0 tonight. So, granted, it's Max Fried. Okay, get it, understand it tonight, but you lost 4-0 last night. You're losing 4-0 tonight. This is your hated rival, and you haven't scored a run in the series in 15 innings. So it's no good. It's no good. Now questions about Crochet's health has popped up in Boston. Sonny Gray got hurt the other day on Marathon Monday, the morning start. Ranger Suarez hasn't pitched like he should. He has been good. He's not been great, and I didn't expect him to be great at the beginning of the season. I expected it to take a while. I expected Sonny Gray to take a while, but he was 2-0. He was 2-0 when he's to start the season. So,
but that's Ranger Suarez. Suarez is good.
It is.
He's not a great. I mean, we talked about that when I said if he's your 3, if he's your number 3, great. If he's your number 4, even better. But if he's your middle rotation arm, awesome. You're happy. If he has to be a 2, you're in trouble.
Here's the problem. They paid him like he needs to be a number 2, and that's not Ranger Suarez.
That's the problem.
Did he have a great year last year? Absolutely. He had a great year. Can he do that consistently? I don't know. We haven't seen it. Probably not. But they paid him like he's a number 2, and that's the problem.
He will win you. He'll win you 12 to 15 games.
Yep.
And he'll have a high 3, a 3.7 to 3.8 ERA.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not a number 2 starter. I'm sorry. It's a number 3 in my book. And so I just think right now, if Crochet is not Garrett Crochet, they have no chance. They have zero chance of doing anything. Now, does that fall on Alex Cora? Does it fall on Andrew Bailey? Where does it fall? Alex Cora's got to get his act together here, because other than the 2018 World Series championship, really what he's done as a manager in Boston, not much. I wouldn't say it's not enough. I'm not going to say it's not enough. I would not much. I would say it's not enough in a baseball town like Boston. So I think you got to start questioning the manager here as well. I don't think he gets free passes anymore. I think you got to start.
Yeah. It also doesn't help that the Orioles are starting to kind of figure it out a little bit. Pete Alonso's been pretty solid for them so far, and the Rays are just bunting teams like crazy.
And Toronto hasn't been good either this year.
Toronto hasn't been good either. So that's like the 2 teams that were at the top of the division last year are at the bottom. It's kind of like, we've kind of seen it a lot of places. You see it with the Astros and Mariners in the West, the Royals right now in the Central. I mean, the NL Central, we talked about it earlier. All 5 teams are above 500 and playing well, but that could even itself out here pretty soon. Back on the Mets, that Brandon Nimmo trade is looking really good for us right now.
Remember the Grimace thing?
Yeah, Simeon has not looked good in a Mets uniform, in my opinion.
Remember the Grimace thing, Alan, a couple of years ago? Now it was the hug of Mr. Met that's caused them to lose all these games. They miss Juan Soto. They're not a good baseball team. They are a very flawed baseball team, the Mets.
Well, I said it as well. Like the Simeon trading Nimmo for Mark. I said that made no sense. You're paying you're paying top dollar for a 34-year-old second baseman who's had injury history the last 2 seasons, who's been playing average baseball at best, and you're trading a player who's a grinded out player like Brandon Nimmo, who's a fan favorite too. The fan base loved Nimmo. He was a thorn in the side of the other teams in the East, and you bring in someone who doesn't produce as well. Not anymore. He hasn't. I don't think Simeon's produced really all that well in the last 5 years.
No.
Since you really go back to when he got traded to Toronto, and then before he goes to Texas, like that was really the last time you saw him actually be productive.
Like literally, the one highlight Simeon has in Texas was the World Series home run, and that's when the game was already out of reach.
He wasn't even that great that season, though. Like he was good, but he wasn't. Again, he was.
I think he started out that season. He started out like 120 something average. It was bad. It was bad.
He wasn't Marcus Simeon.
He was an above average player. He was above average throughout the season. He wasn't even a good. I don't even think I'm going to say he was a good player. He was above average. Right. He had good leadership, but he wasn't a good player. And so it made no sense. And that's why I said, and Scott, you can tell me if I'm wrong, because I said a second ago, the letting Alonso go was because him and Lindor were close. And it was Lindor or Soto. Who are you going to make more happy? Well, you paid $700 million for Juan Soto. You got to find a way to make him happy. And you're alienating the captain of your team in Francisco Lindor. And in doing so, you let go your most productive power bat in Pete Alonso, who was another fan favorite. The fan base loved Alonso. You let him go. And now you've alienated your franchise captain in Lindor to try to make Juan Soto happy. Juan Soto's not going to be happy unless Juan Soto plays well. End of story. Lindor's happy when the team plays well and wins. There's a difference in the two guys. There is. We've been seeing that from about Juan Soto since his days in DC. Like he's not been what everybody thinks he is to be. And I'll go. There should be no for the fact that he's making $700 million. is laughable because he's not the top outfielder in baseball. The guy in Atlanta is the top player in baseball as the outfielder wise. Mookie Betts has been a top player. I know Mookie's not playing outfield anymore, but Mookie Betts has been up there as one of the top outfielders when he was out there playing.
Right.
But you're in statistically, it's been above average to really good is what Juan Soto is. He's not been he's not elite. He's not elite to what you have with Acuna. He hadn't been elite to what Mookie Betts was. And yet you're saying, well, hey, we're going to bring him in. He's going to turn the franchise around. What franchise has he turned around? He wasn't the face of the franchise in DC. He was young. He was a 20-year-old. You had Max Scherzer leading that team, Trey Turner leading that team, guys who have been there and done it, who are veterans. And I won't say rode the coach. I won't say that because this is disrespectful. But he was learning how to be a professional baseball player at that point, watching those guys, be the faces of the DC team. And then when he got traded, when he left to go to San Diego, what has he done since? He has created a hole after hole after hole of the teams that he's gone to. He has not elevated a franchise.
Right.
He has created issues with franchises. And it's continuing right now with what you got to make. If you're Cohen, you got to figure out how do you make Lindor happy? Because if Lindor's happy, you're going to win games. Juan Soto's not going to help you win games. Juan Soto's going to make you a lot of money, but he's not going to be the one that's going to win you games. That's Francisco Lindor.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, by the way, Brandon Nimmo, 292 average, 4 home runs. 3 of those are leadoff home runs. 28 hits, 11 RBIs, OPS 854. You think the Mets could use a bat like that right now?
No.
I'm just saying.
No.
He's been great for us. I mean, you're starting to see guys in Texas right now start to pick it up. Josh Young's been great over the last couple of weeks. He just hit another home run today. He's been picking it up. I know Langford's hurt again, but he had been playing a little bit better the last week or so. But yeah, and then Brandon Nimmo's come in and kind of turned into the pseudo-esque leader behind Corey Seager too. So
there's two bets I made today for baseball purposes only. It's the only 2 bets I've made so far in the last month. Padres to make the playoffs at plus money. Atlanta Braves to win the National League East at plus money. The Braves are still not getting the respect they deserve.
Literally was talking to about it earlier. They're the only team in the division with a winning record right now.
What are the Phillies right now? What are the Phillies right now? Do we even know what the Phillies are right now? I mean, Wheeler comes back Friday, so I think he's pitching Friday, right? Starting Friday.
Yes.
What are the Philadelphia Phillies right now? Are they an old baseball team that's just gotten really old, really fast, and are about to fall off the cliff? Or are they a team that has started slow that we think is going to pick it up and start to win game, put a long winning streak together, like a 10 out of 12, and get back in the division race? I mean, what are they right now? I think they're an old team that has no identity right now. And their pitching staff is not great. It's not great.
I would say that opening series, Harper was 1 for 21 against Texas in that opening series. Like the only guy that had any production against us in that series was Kyle Schwarber, and that's the only reason they won Game 1. So
exactly. And Jonathan, I'll ask you, where is Trey Turner right now? Where is Trey Turner? There's not been much mention of him.
No, Scott, you're hitting the nail on the head. But I've been saying this I've said this season that this team's going to be old. It's an older roster, and again, at some point, so to kind of counter what you said, it's not like they got old fast. We've been saying it's like their trajectory over the last 2 years. Yes. It just took the Braves. It took the Braves having 2 years worth of injuries to not expose that Phillies were getting old. Right. You're talking about the Braves were a 5-time division winner in a row until 2024, when the injuries really started piling up on the Braves with Strider's elbow. You had Acuna's knee again. Like you had, Ozzie Albies' hand, Austin Riley's hand. You've had Michael Harris having hamstring issues the last couple of years. Like it took 2 years of injuries to just absolutely zap the Braves and allow the Phillies to win this division. This team has always been old.
Yeah.
It just had the younger team between the two was dealing with more injuries than the older team was at the time. Now you have the Braves healthy. They're still not even fully healthy. Strider's not back yet. Sean Murphy's not back yet. They're doing their rehab stints, but they're coming back. Schwellenbach's going to come back in August. Smith-Shawver's coming back in August. And you got your J.R. Ritchies in AAA dominating right now. Didier Fuentes comes up today, and it was an up and down start today against the Nationals, but he had 9 strikeouts in 5 innings. So your younger team between the two is still getting younger with the talent that's coming up, and they're healthy where they're producing again. And now you're saying, oh, the Braves are good. So it's not like I'm shocked. I said this when we talked about the divisions, and I said the Phillies are going to be old. They're going to be talented. I'm not writing them off yet, but let's not call this Phillies team a contender with the Braves fully.
Oh, no,
We're not necessarily a contender with the Braves, but more so of a contender for a World Series because they are an older team, and that at some point, and the talent doesn't match the age anymore. And I think you're seeing that Turner's going to have his moments where he's going to get hot. Harper's going to have his moments where he does get hot. But in the full length of the season, are they going to be as good? Are they going to be good enough to be at the top of the echelon with the Braves and Dodgers? I don't think so. I think it's going to get caught. They're finally going to get caught up. If Zach Wheeler doesn't come out and pitch well, let's just say if he looks like the velo's not there, the control, like his arm's not going to be the same because of that major injury, that's a huge setback even more. Mm-hmm. Because you're counting that he's going to be the savior of your staff because Christopher Sanchez can't do it by himself. He can't. And you're relying on Taijuan Walker. You're relying on these younger guys that are probably not quite ready. And Aaron Nola, as much as I love Aaron, is he coming back to where he can show that, we're going to see the old Aaron Nola? We're going to see what Aaron's been over the last few years. There's too many questions for this team, and they're not being answered in the first few weeks of the season. And that's why Philly fans are absolutely frustrated because they didn't see what the rest of baseball saw. You have an older team. Yes, they're very talented still, but you got an older team. At some point, the age doesn't match the talent. And now you're seeing the younger Braves team is back and healthy again. And now you're going back to where you were. Now, again, Philly's going to get a run. They're going to get on a run here at some point. It's just a matter of
we think. I'm not sure.
There's too much talent. There's too much because we saw this with last year when the Braves had their slow start. And even all the injuries they were sustaining at some point last year, they were one of the worst teams in baseball for a period of time in April. Then they got hot. They did get hot for a few weeks, and then they fell off a cliff again. Phillies are going to get hot at some point. There is talent there still. They are still a really talented team. It's just a matter of how sustainable is it when you get to that point of being hot. If you can't sustain it for long, that's when you know you're in trouble for what the season is going to be.
Here's what sold me on the Braves winning the division, and this was back a couple weeks ago. When the Phillies got swept by the Rockies, that sold me totally. I was 100% in on the Braves to win the division. Because you can't.
Don't worry. We'll get to him soon. We'll get to him soon here, Bobby.
You can't, if you're the Phillies, you can't get swept by the Rockies. They're an inferior team to you. You can't do it. And that's what happened. I get it. No Zach Wheeler. I get it. It's the start of the season. It's April. It's cold and everything.
To be fair, Scott, the Rockies are the only team to beat the Dodgers in a series so far this year.
Oh, well.
I'll go a step further, Scott. You can't get swept by the Braves.
No, you can't.
That's another big thing. You can't get swept by the Braves.
In Philadelphia, the fan base showed up. They were saying this was October-like atmosphere in April. The fan base showed up. The team didn't.
Right, exactly.
You listen to the post game, the Sunday night baseball post game conference or the interviews and everything from the Phillies. Yeah. It was demoralizing.
Yes, I know.
And I'll go a step further. If the Braves, I won't even say a sweep. If the Braves take 2 of 3 against Philadelphia this weekend, and you're Philadelphia, and you're in the end of April, you're 9.5 back of the Braves.
Watch out! Watch out! Watch out!
You talk about Philadelphia media is going on a firestorm.
Mm.
Yeah.
City of Brotherly love my ass.
So I'll ask you both this: how late is too early? And what I mean by that is, when do you start panicking if you're a team? Is it the end of April? Is it All-Star break? Is it end of May? When is it, do you think?
It depends on how far. If you're back, how far back?
Okay. If you're 7 games back at the end of April, do you panic?
No, you go to May. If you're 7 to 10 games back at the end of May, you're not panicking, but you're sitting there, you're calculating, how do we fix this? Because we only have 2 months until the deadline. At that point, June, July, August, you're figuring the deadline. You got 2 months to try to figure out where is the holes that you can plug and fix,
right?
And do what you need to do at that point. Because if you can't write it out through June, you're in July and you're still 10 games back. Because that was the whole, we talked about this years ago, where Bobby Cox and John Sherrills, in a lot of the top, old guys back in the day in GM, if you're within 5 games at the trade deadline, you're in great shape.
You're well in it. You're in great shape. Absolutely.
Right. Even at the All-Star, if you're 5 games at the trade, I know the All-Star game's a few weeks before the deadline, but if you're 5 games back around the trade deadline, you're fine.
Yeah.
But you can't. But if you're 10 games back,
it's a long, hard hill to climb.
That's a deep hole. That's a deep hole. And you're talking about a team right now that the Braves, who are about to be, I'm pulling up the stands right now. They're 7.5 over Philadelphia, 8.5 over the Mets. Braves are winning right now 8-6. So if the score holds right now in DC, you are potentially 8.5 ahead of Philadelphia and 9.5 ahead of the Mets before we even leave the month of April. Again, as I said, they're playing Philadelphia later this weekend. You could be 10 back already by the end of the month of April. And this Braves team is going to continue to get hot. They're getting healthier. So could we talk about the Phillies being 15 games back by the end of May?
Yes, I think so. I personally think so. Acuna hasn't been Acuna yet.
Mm-mm.
And Spencer Strider has not pitched one pitch of baseball this year.
And the Braves have and they're the number 1 pitching staff statistic-wise.
Exactly. You got Chris Sale dialing it back to 2018 Chris Sale right now. Thanks, Atlanta. You're welcome, Atlanta, by the way.
Which you mentioned about Garrett Crochet's injury history. Sale had the injury history in Boston and comes to Atlanta and got healthy. So
yes, he did.
I mean, we are literally step by step of what Chris.
It's the lobster dinners these guys eat in Maine that buries them. To be honest with you,
we are truly in history repeating itself right now with Garrett Crochet coming to Atlanta. We have a shortstop that we could trade in the minors. We could trade y'all.
Either that, or you could just take Mauricio Dubon if you want.
The guy, listen to the last thing I say about Atlanta. There's a guy in Atlanta that I'm overly impressed with, Drake Baldwin. I love Drake Baldwin. I love watching him. He's phenomenal. He's not going to be an MVP, but he could be the MVP of the Braves this year, without question. He's really good. I really like watching this guy play.
Hitting wise, yes, he's got to get a little bit better defensively still. He's not quite there defensively as far as holding runners and throwing runners out. But as far as handling the pitching staff, he's done a phenomenal job. And again, even as a rookie last year, they talked about this a couple weeks ago. As a rookie through spring training, when Chris Sale tells your front office and coaching staff, this kid, Drake Baldwin, deserves to be on the big league roster opening day, that's saying something.
That's heavyweight.
That's saying something. So Baldwin's got to keep improving behind the plate with throwing runners out. He's a little bit still slow right there, but if he can figure that part out of his game here in the next couple of years with how he swings it, you're talking about a top catcher. If I can just divulge real quick, the Braves at one point had Shea Langoliers, who's showing that he's playing phenomenal baseball now.
He's doing great. He's doing great with the A's right now. He is the Ranger killer, is what we have dubbed him here. He's the Ranger killer.
Yes.
And you had William Contreras too, who he's figured it out and playing phenomenal baseball the last couple of years in Milwaukee as well.
Mhm.
and now you have Drake Baldwin. I mean, as much as we talk about the Braves pitching in the minors and how they develop pitchers,
Catcher Central.
I mean, you're talking about now three young catchers that have been in that system, and they're all excelling in the big leagues right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
So we'll trade you Garrett Crochet for Drake Baldwin and Spencer Strider.
Access
I'm
denied.
sure we have a double A. We have a double A shortstop we can trade you.
We'll take him. We'll take him for Crochet right now. He's terrible. No, he's going to be all right. It's only April.
So from last year's NL Rookie of the Year to this year's potential AL Rookie of the Year, Chase the Slaughter, or as Bobby called him in the chat, Chase the Slaughter. Phenomenal start. Obviously, he's kind of mellowed out here the last couple of weeks, but phenomenal start for Cleveland. It seems like they have another budding star. They're in the Guardians organization. He's been great. I love watching him. He's been a great young stud for them. How are we feeling about this kid? He's been kind of surprising to me because he was kind of an unknown for me, at least until the first few weeks of the season.
Do I want to say I heard he's got an injury past too? He's got a lengthy injury in the past of his career.
I believe so. I believe
2022 first 16th overall pick and just made his major league debut this year.
I'm going to say this: if this kid can keep this up, him and Ramirez are a potent duo, 2-3 in the lineup. I probably could be one of the
with Juan as a leadoff. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
that's a great 1-2-3 for Cleveland.
The problem I have with the Guardians is they have no pitching. So just the Lauder or whatever the heck he is, the Slaughter, whatever Bobby calls him, he can hit 65 home runs. But if the Guardians can't pitch the baseball, they're not winning much of anything. Granted,
Scott, are you with Bobby on the trade Tanner Bybee trade?
Yeah. Oh, Tanner Bybee.
He gave up another home run today. By the way,
what happened to Tanner Bybee? I mean, he started off good, and now he's just dropped into the Tristan McKenzie, Cleveland Guardian pitching rotation. So.
But I look at Bobby as a Ranger Suarez for the Guardians. Ranger Suarez again. You had Wheeler, you had Nola, you had Suarez.
Right.
Bobby was good when you had Shane Bieber, and Bobby was your number 2 or 3 arm in the middle of your rotation.
He's not
he's the number 1 now, and he's
not a 1.
Look, but has he flashed? I'll say, has he flashed where he could look like a number 1? Yes. But does he have the overall stuff? Does he have the overall skill set to be an ace on your staff? That's the question Cleveland had to look at, and no, he doesn't.
There he is.
You know, he doesn't have that. So when you look at your pitching staff and say, well, you know, how do we continue? When you're going up against Tarek Skubal in Detroit, when you're going up against Seth Lugo and Cole Ragans in Kansas City, I know Kansas City's not been great right now. You look at it and say, is Bybee the guy who can go toe-to-toe with Skubal? No. Can he go toe-to-toe with Seth Lugo or Cole Ragans? No. That's the question. That's the problem. And your offense hasn't – Cleveland's offense has been good, but they've been up and down. And that's kind of why this division is going to be competitive. And there's not going to be a clear-cut runaway like it probably should. There should be a runaway team in this division. But it's not going to happen because Cleveland doesn't have the arms that can go and really take control of this division. And they're going to let teams like Detroit hang around. They're going to let Kansas City come back and be about it again. You know, and I'm not holding water on Minnesota being competitive throughout the year, but right now 12-11 and they're right behind Cleveland. Kudos to them, but I mean, you're looking at what Detroit's going to be has.
Congratulations, Jonathan's still not putting you in his top 10. It's never going to happen, Minnesota.
No, they can be the best team. They can be the best team in the American League record wise. And they'll never be in the top 10 again. They have ruined that privilege 2 years ago for me. Absolutely not. We talk about hope last year. There was no hope for them ever making the top 10 for me again.
How many wins does the AL Central division winner have this year? 85, you think?
Is that what we kind of said? Was going to be like, I think
It's going to be like 85, 89 around that area. I think
I'd say 88. I'd say upper 80s. I won't go mid. I'd say upper 80s, 88 to 89.
What's with the Tigers? Their offense is not good. I mean, I watched them in 4 games with the Red Sox just this past weekend. I do not like their offense. Torkelson's back to the way Torkelson was when he first came up. Riley Green has not done much of anything this year. So Kerry Carpenter, who was great the last 2 years, has kind of not started off great. I mean, what is going on with the Tigers? The Tigers might win that division. It might be 83 and 79 or something like that. That division just is not that good, top to bottom. Every team's got a huge flaw in it. And when they come to the playoffs and they play the Yankees or the Rangers or the Mariners or whoever they're going to play, they're going to be a quick first-round exit, I think. I just can't see any Central team doing anything again for the 50th year in a row, it seems like.
Well, I mean, the West is kind of the same way. I mean, the Rangers are only one game above. Rangers are only one game above 500, and they're leading the West right now. So
it just excites me once we get to the All-Stars as the only National League, on the show. It excites me again that when we get to the All-Star game that we're gonna hopefully be on this run of dominance of the National League versus the American League. I'm hoping, because there is a lot more talent in the National League than there is in the American League, and I'm enjoying every single second of it. So
I'm going to call it right now: the Japanese import playing for the White Sox is going to be the All-Star Game MVP.
The American League is mediocre at best right now. There's really not a team you can look at the American League and say, that's the team. They're going to win the world. They're going to be in the World Series, and they got a shot to win it. Right now, is there a team in the American League?
The top 3 teams, as far as for World Series contenders, are Dodgers, Braves, and Padres.
Yes.
All National League, yep.
Agreed. I think you have to go down to 6 or 7 before you find the American League team that you could say, okay, that's the one. There you go. Should be Toronto. You just signed Dylan Cease.
There are right now. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 6 teams in the American League with positive run differential. The Yankees have 32, Twins and Rangers at 14, Angels plus 10, Tigers plus 9, and the Mariners plus 2. Those are the only 6 teams that have a positive run differential in the American League, and one of those is an 11 and 15 team.
And there's one Angels player that you can thank for that run differential.
Mike
Soriano.
Soriano and Mike Trout.
Trout, two of them. Yeah. But
we'll get into him here in a second. So,
Jonathan, I think the National League's winning the All-Star game this year.
Meanwhile, you look at the National League. The Brewers are plus 27. The Cubs are plus 37. Padres are plus 18, and both the Dodgers and Braves are plus 55.
And the only reason why we're plus 55 is because we did have a bad game last night against the Nationals where we were outscored. I think it was like 11-6 or something like that.
4 or something. I think it was 11.
Yeah, we lost by like 7 runs.
Yeah,
which was the worst loss all season. So that's the only reason why we're at 55 right now. It's just from that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, technically the Braves are the best offense in baseball right now by that standard.
And again, Austin Riley and Ronald Acuna have done 0. Well, I shouldn't say 0 in Acuna's case, but Austin Riley, I'm worried about him. I really am. I don't like the way it's going. I know it's early. Granted, I get it. It's early. It's all with a grain of salt.
And he doesn't play well until the weather warms up and it starts getting into middle of May. He starts kind of getting hot from there. And it's so easy to watch when he is going to start heating up because you can tell when he's hitting the baseball to right center. When he starts hitting the baseball to right center, he's seeing it well again. Is when he gets pull happy is when you know he's off. And right now, that's kind of what it is. He's pull right now. Until he starts letting that ball travel and goes to right center, that's when you know he's going to start getting hot. For Acuna, I'm not worried. Because again, you know he will get hot. It's just a matter of when. When does he get hot and when does he go on his tear that we know he's going to absolutely do? And I think it's more of just realizing how teams are pitching him and they're being teams are pitching him even more aggressive right now, in on his hands than ever before. And he's not seeing fastballs as much as he normally has. And that's why he bats leadoff, to let him see fastballs. And teams are basically saying, we don't care. We'll go heavy slider, off-speed pitch on you to start a game because we're not letting you beat us. The fortunate side is Drake Baldwin's behind him, and he's been on a tear. So at some point, they're going to be like, well, hey, we can't let Baldwin keep getting his RBIs and drives. So we're going to have to find a way to just work around Acuna to try to get him out more. But we can't walk him to let Baldwin drive him in. We got to figure out how to do. It's just a matter of him making the adjustment to seeing the more breaking balls he's been seeing. The fastballs are being run in on his hands a whole lot more this year early on than they have been in past years. Once he makes that slight adjustment, we're seeing Acuna get hot. Yeah. And when he gets hot, he is the best hitter. He's the best hitter and best player in the world. And so again, if the rest of the team is producing like they're doing, and when those two do get hot, Braves are unstoppable offensively. It's going to be very tough to beat this team.
Mm-hmm. So back to Mike Trout for a second. Is he starting to? I'm not saying come around or found the fountain of youth, but he's starting to look like the player of old a little bit. I mean, had that great series against the Yankees a couple weekends ago. He's looked pretty good. He's got 8 home runs already. I believe he leads the American League in home runs, if I'm not mistaken.
Alvarez does.
Alvarez, yeah, because Jordan hit one today too. So,
yeah.
But he's been because now it's gonna looks like because if the Angels don't pick it up record wise, they're gonna hear the trade talks coming up again for Trout.
Didn't it seem like the Angels-Yankee series, Trout was like, okay, Aaron, you do what you do. I'm going to do you one better every game. You hit a home run, I'm going to hit a home run. You hit 2, I'm going to hit 2.
It was a reminder. It was a reminder. You might be the talk of the American League today, but don't forget how good I was years ago. And I'm not. And to your point, Alan, it's not that he's found the fountain of youth. It's not that he's figured it. We've seen Trout still play good baseball over the last few years. Mm-hmm. It's not about the talent and is he capable of continuing to play at a high level. It's just, can he stay healthy?
Yeah.
Because he's had these freak hand injuries that he gets hit by pitches up in kind of what Acuna deals with. He gets the same treatment. And he gets in these 2-seamers that are 95, 97 running in, hitting the hand and breaking the hand. It's not even like we're seeing, muscle pulls that he has to deal with every so often. He's had the knee issue every now and then. He's had a back issue, yes. But more times than not, him and Austin Riley, talking about those two, Austin Riley and Acuna, they get hit in the hand and break their hand. And he's out for 2 months, 3 months because of that. So we're seeing Trout play good baseball, but I think we've seen him do this still for the last 5 years. The problem is we only see him doing it for 70, 80 games instead of seeing it 150 games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, plus his batting average is down in 230s, or at least it was when he was in the Yankee series. So he still is. It's a lot of home runs, not many hits. It's a lot of home runs. It's and a lot of outs. So
it helps when you have a young pitcher like Soriano who's pitched well. Joe Adell's been good for them so far, and even Soler to an extent has been good for them. So he's gotten a little bit of help. And you also got rid of the cancer at first base, so you don't have to deal with Rendon anymore.
The other thing I'll say is they're hamstrung by the decisions they've made in the past 5 years or so. The Rendon signing, awful signing for them. Other guys, Pujols contract they gave, that's a lot of money to give to a guy that was aging.
Spending 24 pick draft on all pitchers that none of them made it to the majors.
Here's the thing: if Soriano hasn't pitched the way he's pitched so far this year, the Angels are right back where the Angels were, bottom of the West, struggling along, trying to get some traction. And again, as you guys said, it would be the age-old question: is Mike Trout going to get traded this year? Is this the year he goes someplace else? And the answer is no. He doesn't want to. He wants to stay right where he is. I don't know why, but he does. So we won't see it.
But I'll go this. I don't think the Angels want to trade him either because they know they're not going to get the value that they were hoping they should have. They're not going to get the value anything close to what Trout was worth at 1.7 years ago. The value's not there. You're not getting. You're not going to get. You're going to ask for 4 top prospects, and you're not getting 4 top prospects. He's batting 239 right now. Yes, he is still really good. Yes, but we're not seeing the overall production, that we've known him to be. Could he thrive better? Now, the question is, if you put him in a better lineup with a better team, does he produce more? I'm sure. But that's a what if. And if you're going to trade for some player, it needs to be a certainty, not a what if. Especially if you're going to ask for top 4 prospects.
Yeah.
You're not trading for, well, we hope Mike Trout figures it out and is hitting better and has a higher, and it gets his average up to 275, 280 and still hits the home runs. But you cannot play the hypothetical game. It has to be a certainty that you're going to do that if you're a contending team low and that Mike Trout's going to be a difference maker. No, with trading what the Angels are going to ask for in return, the value's not there, so it doesn't make sense for the Angels to do it unless a team basically says we'll take all of his contract. Angels, you don't have to worry about paying him anymore. We'll take it. All right, then we'll go two prospects instead of the 4.
Yeah.
Then the Angels might sit here and say, well, we need financial help, and that's a way of doing it. But again, what team is going to want to take on the rest of that contract?
And my question with Trout's always been: is he going to be the type of player that if you trade for him, you're a contender? Is he going to put you on over the top to bring you a championship? Right now, my answer is no.
There's only one team that would do it, that has the money to do it, and that's the Dodgers.
Yeah. And they don't need it, and they would take him, but they don't need him. What are they?
And that would be the only way I would see him saying yes, because he's still in LA. He doesn't have to move.
Yeah,
he doesn't have to move.
Yeah.
Now, the Mets could be the other team. The Mets could be the other team that has the money to do it, and basically,
I was thinking the Phillies because he's from Philly.
Yeah, but you want to add another older guy to the mix.
That's another one too. Yeah,
you got Crawford out in center field. He's your future center fielder. You're letting him play. You're not trading for Trout to put him in left field.
Right,
you're not doing that. I don't. If you're going to make the trade, you're basically saying we're going to have you play center field for us.
Yeah,
and exactly. I could see that the Mets be that team. They could be the team to do it, but if you're not in the race, then you're just saying, well, hey, we're just going to bring Trout to sell tickets and jerseys.
Exactly.
But, I would
agree.
It doesn't make sense for the Angels to do it, and at this point right now, for Trout's like, well, look, my career is going to be over probably in the next 3 to 4 years. It's too late for me to go anywhere else. I'll just ride out into the sunset and be the greatest Angels player in franchise history.
Alan, what is left on Trout's contract? Do we know?
I honestly don't know. I haven't looked at it.
Is he upwards of $30 million a year, $40 million a year? Did the Angels pay him that much money?
He paid a lot. I know that for sure.
He's at 37 million this year.
Yeah, so they paid him a ton of money. It's got to be exorbitant here.
They still have, after this season, 4 years on the contract. He's signed to 2030.
No team is going to take 4 years on with Trout. No team.
4 years, so 27 to 2030, 37 million each year.
Oh my god!
I would also make the argument that he's not even the best player in franchise history. Like,
is he a top 10 player right now, or is that gone?
No,
it's gone. That's what I
thought.
Is he what?
25, top 25, maybe.
Right at the tail end of the 25, though, I would say, if that's the case.
I'll go top 15 position player.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
But he's still it's still the back end of the 15, though.
Yeah, no question.
No question. Well, maybe now I'm thinking I don't even know about that. I say top 25 position player.
If he's in the top whatever, it's top 25 position and top 50 overall.
I mean, yes, I'll agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably have him in the 40s.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Would totally agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's how far his star has fallen right now.
Yeah.
It's the injuries. It's the injuries. If he doesn't get raw, if he is totally healthy for all these years, we're talking about a 600 home run player, possibly right now, pretty close.
I mean, he's this generation's Griffey.
Yeah, I agree.
Although I still, as far as like best franchise player goes, like there's a guy who recently, rest in peace, recently passed away, Garrett Anderson. Yep. Garrett Anderson, who I would actually put number one, but
I think when all's said and done, I think Trout's better than Anderson.
Trout will end up being up there, yeah. Like you said,
but I think Garrett Anderson can be in the conversation with Trout a little bit.
Garrett
Anderson was a solid play. He wasn't on the level of Trout. Would we agree with that?
Yes, and I would actually even say Tim Salmon was better than Garrett Anderson.
Tim Salmon, yep. I would say on Tim Salmon.
Darren Erstad would be another one.
Yeah.
I would say if you go back to like guys like Wally Joyner, who if he stayed healthy, could be in the breath with Trout, not in the breath with Trout. There's only about a handful of guys in the Angels history that you could say would be in the conversation with Trout or better than him.
That's why I say the three. It's Trout, and not in particular, just Trout, Salmon, Erstad.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. And nobody mentions Darren Erstad. Not one person.
No, that's literally a crime because I've seen Darren Erstad so many times. He's a phenomenal player. Phenomenal.
But that's how bad the Angels organization has been run by Adi Moreno and the rest of them. Is that you're in Los Angeles, one of the biggest markets in baseball. You have an unlimited supply of funds, and you let a guy like Shohei just walk away instead of trying to sign him.
Like even another guy too, Scott. They had Vladimir Guerrero for a couple of years, and he's remembered more as a Texas Ranger than he is an LA Angel.
Yep.
For helping us get to the playoffs.
I agree with that.
I think people forget that he was an Angel. Yeah. People think of him as more of his time with the Expos and the Rangers.
Yeah. Yep. He put the fear of God into people. Vladimir Guerrero.
Like I'll watch clips from that era and be like, oh yeah, Vladdy was on the Angels. I remember that.
He was because he played against the Red Sox in the playoffs when the Red Sox were decent.
You talk about a franchise that in the 2000s, that was a really good franchise. They were a really good team.
I mean, you won a World Series in 2002. Yeah.
Yeah, you won the World Series in 2002. And even then, even before then, you were competitive. You had a lot of competitive players. You were competing in the division. You had pieces. I mean, you talk about some of the names that they had even prior to that. You had, I remember, guys like Mo Vaughn was over there and doing damage in this time. And again, he wasn't the Mo Vaughn that he was in Boston, but he was still really good in Anaheim. Prior to going to the Mets, and was absolutely not a shell of himself in with the Mets.
John Lackey pitched great for them when
Troy Percival, one of the great closers at the time. You had Jim Edmonds. Edmonds, I believe Edmonds was out in center field for them before he goes to the Cardinals.
Yes, he was.
More people remember him as a Cardinal, but yeah.
Salmon was there at the time. I mean, the Angels had some really good talent around the diamond and pitching wise. And then
was it for Call there at one point?
Rafael Furcal, for very brief time. He was.
I was going to say I remember he was there briefly.
And then ownership came in and just tore it apart.
It was either Furcal or I know Andrelton Simmons. Mm-hmm. He was there after his Brave stint. I don't.
Then they had C.J. Wilson too, right? At one point.
He was
Or
decent.
was
He
that?
wasn't
Or was
great,
he?
but
Or was he with the Phillies more? Was it?
No, he was
no,
with the Angels for a while.
no. It was Cliff Lee that I'm thinking of. Was with the Phillies. Wilson was with the Angels. Then he came to the Rangers.
Furcal never played for the Angels. He played for the Dodgers.
Okay, that's what it was. I was like, there was an LA team I remember Furcal being on, but I couldn't remember if it was the Dodgers or the Angels.
Braves, Dodgers, Cardinals, and then finished his career with the Marlins.
Mm-hmm. Troy Gloss
Troy
was
Gloss.
there.
I'm just looking up their roster now. In the 2002 season, Troy Gloss was the World Series MVP in 2002.
You're talking about what a hitter he was.
Yeah.
Also a former Brave. He came and played for the Braves for I think it was like a couple seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Remember who their closer was?
It was Percival.
Remember Frankie Rodriguez? He was also in
that World Series year?
2002, yeah. Francisco Rodriguez. I'm looking at it right now.
K-Rod?
That has to be who. No, maybe it's a different one. Maybe it's not.
Yeah, because I think K-Rod was like in the 2010s. I want to say, wasn't he, Jonathan? He's like late 2000s.
No, he was later. 2010s. He was later 2000s. I thought Percival was the closer in the 02.
I thought it was Percival too, because
Adam Kennedy was ALCS MVP in that year.
I remember Adam Kennedy. I remember them. They also had Jared Weaver at one point, and he was a really good pitcher.
Percival was with he was on that Angels team.
They had both, I think. Frankie Rodriguez might have been a starter, and then when Percival left, he became the closer. Maybe that's what happened.
It was 02. They won the World Series.
Yep, he was a starter on that team, I think.
Percival had 40 saves that year.
Yep. So Frankie Rodriguez was a starter. Then when Percival left, they switched him to the closer's role, and that's when he took off. Because he was a starter. He was 52, 53 with his career, 2.86 ERA as a in his career. 2.86 ERA.
Francisco Francisco only played in 5 games in 02.
Yeah. So he must have been a call-up. So Percival must have left when? 04?
04, yes.
And that's when Rodriguez became
05 was his first year as a closer. Was Rodriguez's 05 was the first year as a closer. He had 45 saves that year.
99 and 63 that year.
John Lackey, game 7. Won the game, shut the Giants down with 1 run in that 7th game. It's amazing. John Lackey was a great pitcher for the Angels.
Benji Molina. Oh my God, I haven't heard that name in forever.
They had a team. They had a really good team when they won the World Series that year. It was really good.
Benji Molina, Scott Spezia. I remember Scott Spezia. Adam Kennedy, David Eckstein, Darren Erstein, Troy Gloss, Garrett Anderson, Tim Salmon,
not
Brad
big name guys,
Fulmer,
but guys that would get the uniform dirty and would do the little things. Take the extra base when they had to. Get a bunt down. Steal a base. Do all those things because they had really good pitching where they could back it up. So,
yeah, Troy Percival's still there.
We'll never see that again. It's gone. See ya. Angels baseball.
Yeah. This was back when John Lackey was in the 5-hole too. He was the fifth man in that rotation.
But he was the game 7 starter.
Mm-hmm.
He was.
You have Ramon Ortiz, Jared Washburn, who won 18 games that year. Aaron Sale.
Seeley.
Aaron Seeley. Yeah, my bad.
You're welcome, Anaheim. You're welcome, Anaheim, with that one too.
Yeah. You mentioned Percival was the closer that year, 40 save season. Only gave up 12 earned runs that entire year. But yeah, Frankie Rodriguez was there. He's only, like you said, he only pitched in 5 games.
The Braves win?
Braves just won. They still have not lost a series in 2026.
That's crazy.
Might be commonplace.
Boston on line 1.
Yep, but Garrett Crochet, line 1.
Let's see. What else is there? I mean, yep, Braves just
and
won.
by the way, Cubs are up on the Phillies 6-2.
Yeah. It just gets better and better, doesn't it?
Mets and Twins are tied in the 2-2 in the top of the 8th. Oh my God! They lose to the Twins again. Oh my God!
That would be 13 games in a row if they lose tonight.
Oh, that's so great. That's so great. Couldn't happen to a worse franchise.
Jonathan has the hatred for the Mets. I have the hatred for the Yankees. Well, he has a hatred for the Yankees too.
I'm about to say I have a hatred for the Yankees too. I'm right there with you.
I think all three of us do, but mine is more comical hate than anything.
Are the Mets the biggest story of the year so far?
Right now, yeah. If they lose tonight again and there are 13 losses, yes.
To Minnesota,
I think I saw is their biggest losing streak since like the early 2000s. This is their biggest losing streak in franchise history.
This season will be over by May 15th.
I said this. I said before you came on too, Scott. If both the Mets and Phillies lose again tonight, they both have a combined 21-game losing streak.
Could number one, that's amazing. Number two, could the Phillies and Mets season be over by mid-May?
Yeah, if they're 15 back of the Braves, yes.
Imagine that. The last year of baseball, probably for a year or two, and you're done by mid-May, and you're fighting for a wild card because that's all you got there. Is get in the wild card.
Because I said the Braves are going to keep getting healthier. Strider looked good the other day.
Yeah, without question.
Sean Murphy's going to come back, so you're going to put Sean Murphy behind the plate. He'll help the run game as far as defensively. You'll basically DH Drake Baldwin more at that point. Then, like you're going to get healthier. The pitching staff for the Braves is going to get healthier.
If you have Strider, Sale, Lopez,
now Bryce Elder's pitching well.
Elder.
Lopez, if Lopez would probably they're going to DFA Martin Perez probably when it's all said and done when Strider gets ready to come back.
Mm-hmm.
But Lopez might be the one that gets demoted to the bullpen of the group because I'm hesitant on what I see from him to be a mainstay starting pitcher for you, especially if Schwellenbach does come back healthy. Especially if AJ Smith-Shawver gets healthy and comes back at the end of and then you also have Hurston Waldrop coming back in August too. You got three pitchers that are 24 and 25 years old coming back from elbow issues, but they're all going to come back in August. And not to mention you have your 22-year-old number one pitcher in the system in J.R. Ritchie, who's dominating AAA right now. He's going to get called up probably next month.
One division down, 5 more to go.
Pretty much. I mean, the Centrals look good, but like you said earlier, that division's going to play itself out.
Is it tacky if I pop the champagne in May 20th?
Not really, because I honestly think the division's over now, Jonathan. I honestly do. I don't like where the Phillies and the Mets.
Got one bottle for the division and one for the Mets and Phillies bottoming out.
I think this is going to be the Phillies of 2026. Play really well for a stretch, and then down in the tank again, and then back up again, down again. I mean, the Phillies are Braves and Dodgers are the two best teams in the National.
If the Braves are
distant third, but
I shudder to think if the Braves sweep the Phillies again this weekend,
that could be the division. Could be the Phillies might just say, "Let's go for the wild card." We can't win the division. Can't beat these guys.
And then here's the thing: people are gonna. And I know people are watching this are going to be like, "Well, the Yankees have 15 wins. The Yankees are 1-6 against 500 teams.
Yeah.
1-6. They have been beating up. They've been beating up on the as what our good friend Keith Hinkle calls the little sisters of the poor in Major League Baseball right now.
People, we called it before the season. The top half of the lineup is really good for the Yankees. The bottom half Nothing.
Meanwhile, speaking of the Angels, Oswald Peraza has been playing pretty well. You think the Yankees would love to have him back?
They'd love to have who's your favorite?
They'd love to have Josh Smith back too. I bet you.
The Yankees. The Yankees would love to have Gallo back.
Joey Gallo.
So he could hit some home runs. I mean,
he'd be pitching for them at this point. He'd be pitching for them
now.
Seriously, it's just. I mean, Rodon's coming back supposedly. Garrett Cole's coming back. It still might not make a difference because you got a manager who's a bumbling idiot. To be honest with you, I agree with Keith. He's just a bumbling idiot.
I'm not trying to make this a Brave show. I'm really not. And as much as you guys made this,
I mean, I mentioned it earlier, Scott. The Rays bunted them to death.
Yes, they did. They did. I agree.
Can I just, when we're talking about managers, Walt Weiss has done a phenomenal job making me eat crow because I was not a big fan of Walt Weiss being hired. I thought it was just a status quo type of thing. He's making me, proving me wrong, and I don't. Y'all know I don't like admitting when I'm wrong, but this situation, I'll admit when I'm wrong. And what it was the turning point was when he took down Jorge Soler in that big fight in against the Angels.
60-year-old man taking down a baseball player.
Well, he
became my favorite manager right then and there as soon as he took Soler down.
He has his own Taekwondo gym though in Atlanta.
He does.
Okay.
I was going to say, is he about to be this generation's Lou Piniella? Is that what's going to happen?
You haven't heard the stories about how Walt Weiss, he's been taking Taekwondo since his playing days.
Really?
Did you know that? Those Braves teams he played for in the 2000s, they all said they asked back in the day. They asked Chipper, even Gary Sheffield, is there a player in baseball you don't want to mess with? They all said Walt Weiss.
Really?
I
didn't know that.
Walt is
listen, Jonathan. We were all wrong because we were on the Mark DeRosa train for manager for the Braves, and I think we both said to Walt Weiss, he was in Colorado and didn't work in Colorado, so he comes to Atlanta and he's been great as a manager.
But I think too, though. But again, we're not going to sit here and say the Rockies are the Braves as far as how the organization has been run. So right. I think we looked at it and saying, well, he failed out of Colorado. Well, I mean, over the last 20 years, nobody succeeded in Colorado. So being in Atlanta, he's a former Brave player. He did learn. He has learned a lot from Bobby Cox. He did learn from Brian Snitker quite a bit as far as how and understanding how the organization. So and then you actually put talent around him to manage.
Yeah.
You're getting what you see out of him, and the team loves him. The players love, and that was the big selling point. That's why he got the job. Is that all the players said, "This is the guy we want to play for."
Right.
And
so he's been really good, and he's manager of the year right now for me. I mean, it's still early. But he's by far.
Agree. But yes, I agree. He's the front runner for the first month of this season to be manager of the year.
No, it's not Skip Schumacher, Alan.
You don't know that.
Hush.
I was going to say, speaking of Colorado, Walker Buehler has given up 6 hits and 3 runs to the Rockies.
Oh, Walker Buehler. I know fully what Walker Buehler is all about, being in Boston for that.
And it's only bottom of the second. Bases are loaded. It's 3-1 Rockies all ahead of the Padres right now.
Could the Rockies be the Miami Marlins team for this year, where they scrap and they fight and they claw themselves?
He already said no. No. No, Scott, because that's the White Sox.
Stop.
No. It's going to be the Miami Marlins again. But Colorado could win 60 games this year when nobody thought we didn't think they would do it. But they could. I wouldn't put it past them. They're off to a decent start. Better start than we thought, I think. So
they're one game away from actually having double digits, which it took them 40 games last year to get the double digits.
It was June 3rd.
It was like June, mid-June or July or like early June.
3rd. last year.
They didn't win 60 games last year. Why are we talking about them?
Oh, that's right. We can't talk about them.
That's
Move
right.
on.
Oh, seven hits, 4 runs now, by the way. So it's 4-1.
No. Miami.
Hey, Miami won. Miami won today. So
well, I say they've always been a scrappy team.
Yes, they have been.
And their ownership is what always screws them up because they get talent. They have talent every year, and they trade them every year. The ownership is what screws them up. The Rockies are not there. They're not. They have a couple players. It's going to be the same. They're going to play. They're going to have a couple players that play really well.
Yeah.
But not good enough to really just make them over competitive. Then they'll get traded to, and they're gonna be back to just we're just here just because. And we're going to have the highest the highest costing food in all of baseball still and whatnot. I mean, no, the Rockies. I think they're just. Are they having early season success? Sure. Is it but are they gonna flame out here in the next couple of weeks? I'm sure they are.
Mm-hmm.
John,
I mean,
you have your eyes on a certain.
At the very least, it's already better than what their start to last year was.
Don't lower the bar.
Sandy Alcantara could be the solution to your problems, if there are any in Atlanta.
Don't worry. He's gonna get traded to Texas for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, I say Marlins traded. Marlins won't trade him into the division. They won't.
No, I agree. You know who probably will get traded in the deadline? Soriano from the Angels.
That's who I want. He will.
He's got
put a tomahawk on his jersey and bring him to Atlanta. I like him.
Yeah, he's got an 0.2 ERA. His WHIP is under 1. All his stats are really good. He gave up 7 hits today. He didn't pitch well today at all. He didn't walk anybody. That's been his problem.
The only thing I could see the Braves not even really making a big trade on a starting pitcher is that if Strider does come back healthy and he looks good, you do know Schwellenbach's coming back in August. You do know Smith-Shawver's coming back in August. You do know Waldrop's coming back in August. You have J.R. Ritchie's going to get called up here in May. And all these guys are, if they're all pitching well and you're running away with the division, you're going to look at it and go, we don't need to make a trade for a starting pitcher. That's the only way I would say that they look at it and go, no, we don't need to even do it because we have our veterans and we have young guys and we're excelling, going well with it right now. I would like to have that extra arm just because you do know the team out west is loaded as well, and we know that even if they are loaded, they're still going to trade for a pitcher just because they can. That I would look to, if I'm the Braves and you're in an arms race, even though you have your young studs that are coming up and doing well and guys are getting healthy, it doesn't hurt to have too much pitching in the second half of the season and in the postseason play. That's the only way I would look at it and saying that if I need to make sure that it is Dodgers Braves in the NLCS and I want the one-up advantage, I need to go get at least one more arm to help out. Because you do know these guys have injury history. Chris Sale still does have injury history. Bryce Elder does have history at times. Schwellenbach's coming off of an injury. Smith-Shawver injury. Waldrop injury. Grant Holmes was injured last year. Ronaldo Lopez was injured last. You have so many guys that are talented, but you know their injury history is there that you cannot ignore. You need to go at least get one more arm. I would say just do it just because you know you're in an arms race with the Dodgers when it's all said and done going into postseason play when you face them in the NLCS.
Mm-hmm. So I want to bring this up real quick, Scott, before you go. Okay. We talked about the Mets blunders. They just had a base running blunder tonight where you had an opportunity to have a go-ahead run, go up 3-2. Mark Vientos, I don't know what they're doing, and again, this probably comes back up to the manager, runs through a stop sign and gets thrown out at home by 5 feet. Literally 5 feet. Like, literally, he was like a quarter of the way almost to home and gets thrown out. Like, come on now.
Could the Mets be a team that players are saying, we don't care what they do. We're just going to do what we want to do. We don't care what the manager does. We don't care what the coaches do. If we feel like we're going to run through a stop sign at third base, we're going to do it. If we feel like we could steal a base, we're going to do it when they don't want us to. I mean, have we gotten to that point in New York where they're just simply saying, players are saying, screw you, manager and coaches, we're just going to do whatever we want to do. And that's going to be it. And if we win games, great. If we lose games, so be it.
No, I wouldn't go that far with it because at the end of the day, you're still a professional, and there's no. You're not going to have a player or even players that basically just say, I'm running the show. The manager doesn't. No matter, even if you lose the locker room, even if you lose the team, you're not having that happen.
Oh, Lindor. By the way, Lindor left the game too with an apparent injury. So
Oh, right on top of everything. Great.
But to go, no, I as much as I hate the franchise, and I won't go that far because again, it's your career, and if you're known as someone that is just going to undermine the manager, you're not going to play long. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. The only person who I can actually, and I won't even go to say Soto would be that guy because Soto's never been that. That's never been Soto's character. As much as he is he's a show me guy, and he's and whatnot. And I won't characterize him to that point. So no, I think it's just more of guys trying to do too much. You're in a 12-game losing streak. You're trying to do everything you can to win a game, and if that means I got to do more than what I'm supposed to, I'm gonna do what I can. And it goes to, as a player, when you make that kind of decision, it's one of those things where it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission situation. I'm trying to do, and then, so what are you thinking, Coach? I'm trying to score. I'm trying to win. We got to know what winning feels like. I got to do what I can. Yeah. They're doing much. I won't say they're undermining the manager or the coaches. They're just trying so hard to do what it can to end the losing streak.
Yeah, the Mets fans are just embracing them and cheering them too. They're not booing them at all. That's not how New York fans roll. They don't boo anybody.
No, but again, as I said in our group chat, one of the best sound in sports is Philly fans booing their own team.
Yeah, I agree.
I loved it.
Philly fans booing any of their teams is great.
Such a short memory from what that team's done the last 3 or 4 years to now. It's like, you guys stink.
There is one Phillies content creator that I follow who's doing an ice bath challenge every day until the Phillies win the World Series. I was like, yeah.
Oh God, he's gonna be in the ice bath challenge for years. He's years. They ain't gonna win anything. Oh,
I was like, yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, have fun with that, buddy. Holy moly!
So, one last question before we end off, and this is going to go to college baseball real quick because UCLA has been pretty dominant this year. They have really good team. Is there a team that can challenge them, or is this UCLA season to lose?
I am on this boat. I am on this fan thing. I think Coastal Carolina could be a team that sneaks up on people in the College World Series this year.
They are really good. They are a really good team.
I just think Coastal Carolina could make their way to the College World Series final somehow. Because the teams that are usually up top have now slid down a little bit for this year only. Because I'm sure they're going to reload the Tennessees, the LSUs, all these teams. They're going to reload, and they're going to be good. Not saying they're not going to get there this year because they can still do it. But I love Coastal, how they play. I've watched them play on ESPN. You know, they've had them on ESPN TV. They've had them on. I've watched it over the computer. They're really good. They're really good. And this could be the year that it's UCLA and everybody else this year. But I think Coastal could sneak into the College World Series final.
I'll give.
Watch out for Boston College, though. I've been on this train. Boston College can pitch. Watch out for them this year. They can be really good.
You're trying to give your team hope, Scott?
Yes. Yes, I'm trying to drum it in. Come on, BC.
They are ranked 22nd right now.
Mm-hmm. They are. I'll give you a team that it pains me to really compliment them because I'm hating their school more and more since they've really been in the SEC over the last.
Here he comes.
I guess was it now almost 15 years. They've been in the SEC, but this team is playing good baseball. They're loaded. They are a loaded offense. pitching is starting to figure it out a little bit better right now in the second half of the season, and that's Texas A&M.
Oh,
Texas A&M is absolutely they. I don't think, and I know UCLA is playing well, and I know Georgia hits the baseball really well. Georgia Tech hit the baseball really well. As a team, I don't think there's a team that is as deep offensively than Texas A&M right now, and as hot as they are swinging the bats, and their pitching is starting to get better too. I think they are the most dangerous team in college baseball right now. And they're going to continue to get hot. And what makes the SEC tournament? We talked about this last year and a couple of years, and every year we talk about the with college baseball. The team that gets the hottest in the SEC tournament usually has a lot of success in the NCAA tournament too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We talked about last year, and I Texas was the hot team in the regular season. And I said they're going to get into it. They're not ready for what the SEC baseball is going to that tournament is going to look like. And they were one and done, and they got one and done out of the NCAA tournament. They
I was going to say we made it farther than they did. So
yes, A&M. They've obviously been in the SEC for many years now. They understand the tournament. Texas is going to they're going to figure out how to do it. But right now, I'm still not quite there with Texas. But A&M. Their hitting is on fire. Their pitching is much better. They're going to be a hot team in the SEC tournament. They're going to be a team that's just going to be tough to beat because they're doing everything right. And when you're that team, it carries over to the tournament very easily. And I think that's the team that's the most dangerous right now. I could say Georgia Tech. I could say North Carolina, number 2 in the country right now. Georgia Tech swings. Georgia Tech swings the bat very well. Drew Burrs he's one of the top hitters in the country. He'll be a top 7, top 8 pick in the draft this summer.
Yep.
But there is some holes with that team and that roster that once you get to the NCAA tournament, that may get exposed. A&M, there is no holes. Not right now. What they were beginning this season, okay, they figured it out. And they are absolutely dangerous right now. I don't see them losing another series the rest of the season. I don't.
And here's what I would say about UCLA, even though I just gave them their flowers. Their West Coast baseball is not the same as SEC baseball and as ACC baseball. And I'm not even throwing the Big Ten in there because I don't think the Big Ten is really a really strong conference. But UCLA is playing also rans, schools that are not good in non-conference, where Texas A&M and those teams are playing really good schools in their non-conference.
You're essentially playing AA teams in college.
Exactly. And that's why UCLA has built the record they built because, yes, they're good. I get it, yes, and everything. But sometimes your opponent makes you look a little bit better than you really are.
They're going to make it to the World Series.
No doubt.
They're going to be one of the top 8 teams. They will.
Yeah, no doubt. But I just think when they come up against a Texas A&M or any of those other SEC or ACC schools, North Carolina or Georgia Tech, I don't know if they're going to be that successful because those schools are really good with limited holes in it, where UCLA is really good but has not played this cream of the crop in college baseball. So I personally think as a locking in guy, with Allen and Tanner, I would never bet UCLA to win the college championship because I just don't think that they're good enough to beat Texas A&M in a World Series college final. So that's why I have a little pause on UCLA. Are they really good? Yes. Are they national championship good? I would pause a little bit.
So we potentially see? I know that they're kind of surprises for me because I didn't expect either of these two teams to be in this spot. But maybe like West Virginia or Kansas make a little bit of noise come postseason because Kansas is Kansas. I did not expect Kansas to be in this spot at all. They played good. West Virginia's top 12, but
I don't think the Big 12 in baseball is the same as Big 12 in basketball. Not even close. No. I just don't think they play the quality of teams that these other schools play, and that could cost you in the regionals because you have team. All right, I'm not trying to blow smoke up my schools. But Boston College is a really good pitching program. If they play Kansas, I doubt Kansas can hit against them. I just don't think they can do it. Texas A&M, if Kansas was to play Texas A&M in Super Regional, I don't think Kansas would even come close to winning a game against Texas A&M.
No. Or even Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma would.
Or even Oklahoma. Oklahoma, out of those two other teams that you mentioned, is a better team than West Virginia and Kansas, Alan. So I just think I agree with Jonathan. Texas A&M is going to be that team that gets to the college final, I think.
And of course, after 2 weeks ago on Lock It In, I'm done with Virginia. I'm done with Virginia.
I wonder why.
Well, if you're, I'll put it this way: if you're A&M, you're going to have to be. You're going to have to be one of the top teams this year because you will lose a lot of talent after this season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they're going to bring in one of the top recruiting classes in baseball for next year. But you have a lot of veterans that are on this team that are a lot of veteran leadership that you're going to end up having to replace out of the draft. And so this is your best opportunity to make some noise now and do something. They have some talented freshmen. Nico Partita. If you haven't had a chance to watch, Scott, A&M baseball, Nico Partita, dude's a freshman, true freshman, and he'll be one of the top hitters next year as a sophomore in all of the country. The dude is a freak of nature hitter. And if he wants to, if he really wants to, he'd go pitch for A&M tomorrow and throw 96 off the bump. Dude, he is a talent that baseball is an overall talent of hitter, speed, pitching, power, everything you can think of. He is that that is the top line in college baseball. The dude is a talent. In 2 years, he'll be a top 10 pick. He's that good. And so with the veterans that this team has at A&M, with some of the freshmen they do, I mean, they're going to be good. They're going to be good next year. But again, you have this veteran leadership that's all going to leave after this season. This is your best opportunity, A&M. The best opportunity you've had since you were at the final, with Coach Schlossnagel before he left for Texas. This is probably the better team that you've ever had, and that includes that finals team that came in second place. You can't mess this up. You cannot mess this up because and I'm not trying to. LSU's going to be back next year. They're already. You talk about heads are rolling right now in Baton Rouge with Jay Johnson. He has put everybody on notice. If you're not producing this year, you're not what this program's supposed to be like. You're not coming back next year. He admitted that they missed. They swung and missed. He's been admitting that publicly. They swung and missed on guys. They're not going to miss next year. LSU will be back next year. So if you're A&M, you're Texas, you're Oklahoma, and the SEC, LSU and Tennessee's been down. You have your chance to do something this year. You better do it because LSU's coming back next year. And they're going to come full guns a-blazing as it goes. So, but again, I think A&M's the best team. I think A&M will be the best team when it's all said and done.
Yeah. I was wondering why that trail of Jell-O shots was there.
The city of Omaha is in tears right now because they know that LSU won't be there this year.
Baton Rouge North. I mean, yeah. Again, I'm off the Virginia bandwagon. They have lost me forever after a couple weeks ago. I mean, looking at these teams, Nebraska's been playing well. Arkansas is kind of at the bottom of the top 25. That's kind of mid for SEC standards. Texas, Georgia, A&M at the top of the conference. Auburn's up there. Alabama, Oklahoma's up there.
So I just checked for betting purposes. Texas A&M is not even the favorite to win the SEC. It's Georgia. So that surprises me a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit.
I wouldn't. I'll give you it, and don't bet on any teams in the SEC. That tournament's such a grind. It's such a
no doubt.
I mean, anybody can get hot and just absolutely win it, and it's such a hard tournament. So I mean, if Georgia wins it, great. But I mean, if A&M goes and wins 3 games in the SEC tournament, you need to put money on A&M to be one of the top 3 teams in the College World Series.
And then for the College World Series, UCLA is the favorite. Georgia Tech is the second favorite, and then it's Texas A&M. Georgia's plus 1,400, Texas A&M plus 850. So I'm tonight before I go to bed, I'm putting a bet on Texas A&M to win the.
And A&M has the third best odds.
Third best odds, 8 plus 850.
Oh, I may send you $100 to put it on for me then.
But yeah, I'm going to put Texas A&M because again, UCLA plays West Coast baseball, where I don't think it's as strong as nearly as strong as SEC baseball, and Georgia Tech. I mean, Georgia Tech, yeah, they may be good, but are they better than Texas A&M? I don't think so. I don't think so. And they're plus 700 to win the College World Series. So, the team that I mentioned, Coastal Carolina, is not even in the. They're plus 4,500 to win it. So
the only concern I have for Coastal is I think their pitching is just not as good as it was last year.
It's not. It's not. That's the one drawback I have on Coastal.
Was it Cam Fluker? Cam Fluker he's been hurt a lot this year. If he was healthy, then I would agree. Because Cam Fluker is a dog on the mound.
Yeah,
he was a dangerous pitcher last year. So if he was healthy right now, then I could say yes. I'd say go ahead and put money on Coastal to make it back and be a top 3 team going into the College World Series. The fact that he's not been healthy this season, I don't think the pitching is going to be as good as it was last year. And if you're Coastal and you don't have the pitching, which is what led you there last year, you're not going to get back.
Right. Oklahoma's plus 4,500 to win the College World Series, Alan. So,
I mean,
put your house on it.
Just enjoy it this year, boys. Enjoy it. Let the Tigers reload next year.
Is LSU going to get in the playoffs? You think
they would? I was going to say the last I saw, they were one of the last 4 teams in. But
unless they get hot and win, they have to win every series the rest of the season.
If they get to the semifinals of the SEC tournament, do they?
They have to win every series in the regular season that they have left, and make a deep run in the SEC tournament. If they do that, then yes.
Okay.
You just lost Jake Brown, your best hitter. He's out for the season with a broken hamate bone. He was your best power hitter. He was your best hitter. I think at this point, everybody in Baton Rouge is like, just reload next year. We'll relook at the roster, reconstruct it, figure out where we missed, and go back back. You have, and I think the reliance of the portal is kind of was hurt them this year. They have some young, talented guys that are freshmen, but they relied on guys in the portal that just weren't good enough. Right. Zach York, the first baseman, I mean, he had flashes, but he was not what they hoped he. In which it's unfair for Zach when you're a first baseman following what Jared Jones did in his career at LSU, and you're basically trying to be the replica to that. That's tough. That's like trying to go replace Dylan Cruz in center field. Fortunately, you had Derek Curiel, who had all he did was set freshman records in the SEC, but you swung and missed at first base. You didn't recruit first base all that well, as a high school kids. So you brought in a guy from Grand Canyon University who just can't handle SEC pitching. And so they're going to relook at the roster. They're going to figure out where they missed. They're going to look at the portal and say, where do we plug and play guys and build on this top recruiting class? They have the number 1 recruiting class coming in next year for high school. And just make sure that who can we keep and who do we get to come to school, and then where do we plug and play guys? So that's what they've done the portal the last couple of years. You plug and play guys. You get Anthony Ianson coming in to be the number 2 guy. You developed Cade Anderson as a freshman. Yeah. You brought in Paul Skeens, but you had Ty Floyd, who was a freshman for you for the 2 years prior. You don't load with a portal. You can't. You plug in guys and you build around them with the class that you have, and you develop. And there's no better development program in the country than LSU. So they lost sight of what made them great. They're going to reevaluate and they're going to reload when it's all said and done next year.
Mm-hmm. I'm expecting it. I'm expecting it at this point. So,
by the way, the Mets are about to beat the Twins. So The streak
darn.
was-
Oh, another reason for Jonathan to hate the Twins. By the way, anybody see the Rockies fan make that foul ball catch last night? Literally dove 3 rows down just to catch a foul ball.
Jonathan, he still wants to talk about the Rockies.
Notice I ignored it.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I did.
The things baseball fans will do, though.
That just shows how, again, we got to talk about the fans making catches in Colorado. That's how bad. That's how bad.
Pretty much.
We talk about how the fans make better catches than the players do in Colorado.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. So,
that's how we end off, man. So real quick, Jonathan, how you feeling about the Saints tomorrow night?
I was going to ask Jonathan this.
Don't trade up. Don't just Mickey, please don't trade up. Just we're not. Is our roster better than it was at this point last year? Yes, but we still have a lot of holes. Don't trade up. I don't really know what direction they're going to go. They could go get a receiver. I know what's his name? Jordan Tyson's been talked about a lot. Carnell Tate's been talked about a lot. You can go get a linebacker. I think there's been talk about Arvell Reese from Ohio State. Sonny Styles, just because you don't have DeMario Davis anymore. He's with the Jets now. Caleb Downs has been talked about coming at that 8th pick as well. There's so many different areas that you can go to that if the worst case scenario that Downs is taken, Styles is taken, and let's just say Tate's taken, I know he won't do it because he's probably never done it in his career. I would want to trade back. Go to pick 14, 15. Get a team that will give you a 2nd round pick on top of that or whatnot. Get a little bit more depth. And if Jordan Tyson's still there at pick 16, you just got him for a little bit cheaper, and you're getting yourself another pick later in the draft for there. I don't know what direction they're going to go. I just don't, and it kind of concerns me.
There's a team that's dying to move up, Jonathan, and it's the host of the show's team, by the way. They're dying to move up. They want to move ahead of the Commanders.
They're trying to get to either 6 or 4.
Yeah. Here's a trivia question I heard, which is strange. How many first-round players have the Saints drafted out of LSU in their history?
In their history?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Was
Dalton 5?
Dalton Hilliard wasn't a first-round pick. I don't think he was.
No, he was not. He was not. That was the first name that came to my head when I heard this.
I'm trying to think of maybe 1 or 2. I don't think it's any more than 2.
Zero.
Yeah. I wanted to say 0, but again, I couldn't remember if there was something back in the 60s or 70s or 80s that it may have happened. I know it hasn't happened in the last 30 years.
What is your impression of Mansour Delaney out of LSU? Do you think
he is the best quarterback? He is. You talk.
He's the guy I want to pick. If
there's any guarantee in this draft, it is Mansour Delaney is a stud cornerback. He will be the best cornerback in this class. He will be a lockdown cornerback in the NFL. You're talking about someone who is giftedly. He is as gifted technically as there has been as a cornerback in a draft. Yes, he doesn't have the fanfare that a Jalen Ramsey had. He doesn't have the fanfare of Sauce Gardner, but as technical as he is, that's what makes him special. Runs a 4.4. He's not overly tall like Ramsey or Gardner is. He's average, 6 foot, I think, maybe close to 6'1", but I know he's about 6 foot, 190 is what he was, I think, not the size like that those two had, but as fluid as movement as you could find, as the ball skills that he displayed at LSU, that he looked good at Virginia Tech. They were like, well, Virginia Tech was an average team. He was, he looked good on an average team. He goes to LSU, Yes, LSU wasn't great this year, but he was the best player on the field. That included Harold Perkins, that included Whit Weeks, that included so much talented guys on that defense. He was the best player on that field, and so would I like to see him in the New Orleans Saints in the secondary opposite of Kool-Aid McKinstry? Absolutely. Will they do that? No, I don't think they will.
No, they won't.
I think Caleb Downs is their number one player on the board. Mm-hmm. I think Brandon Staley wants to have a safety that is versatile in the box, that can basically do what Tyrann Mathieu was doing, throughout his career, and even at the back end of his career with the Saints, where you put him in the box, you put him in coverage, he goes and hits people, he can go make plays on the ball, he can pick it off, he can loosen it on fumbles. He's an all-around dude in the backfield that can go and create havoc back there. I think Brandon Staley loves him and wants him. If not him, I think Sonny Styles is the other one. Then it's the receiver, Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson, and then it's Mansour Delane. I think that is the order of what their board looks like from there. And I could even look at it and say, if you're interested in one of the pass rushers, but I don't think the pass rusher is going to fall that far. I don't think David Bailey falls that far, obviously, because I know the Jets have been heavy on him. Arvell Reese is not going to fall that far. I think he'll be at number 5, maybe. He'll go to 5 or maybe 4. Probably is where he's going to be at 5. He won't fall that far down to 8. So you're either going to get the safety or you're going to get the linebacker. If the linebacker's gone, if Sonny Styles is gone, Caleb Downs is going to be that pick at number 8. Then
I think Washington really wants Caleb Downs, which is why Dallas is trying to trade with Cleveland, because they want Caleb too.
I'll send you my mark tomorrow for the show tomorrow night.
Because I think for Dallas you need a really great secondary player, either a really good man-to-man corner, like which is why I love Mansour Delane, because I think the way Christian Parker is going to coach defense, I think he would be a perfect corner for that situation. Or like you said, a do-it-all safety that can be a field general in Caleb Downs, which is something that they've desperately needed the last couple of years for their secondary.
If we do trade back, we're getting one of the receivers in. We're getting Jordan Tyson more likely.
I would call the Giants and trade back to number 10, and you could probably pick up another 3rd or 4th rounder from the Giants for moving.
No, don't do that. Don't give the Giants any more things that they already don't need.
Because Kansas City is, as I heard today, Andy Reid is hell-bent on going offensive lineman at 9 to protect Mahomes. Smart move so he doesn't get sacked.
They need a right tackle for sure.
So if I'm the Saints, I'm calling the Giants at 10 and saying, hey, we're willing to move back with you if you want. This is what it'll take.
I just don't see Mickey Loomis doing that, though. That's the only thing. I don't see him.
He hasn't done it. And that's the thing.
So there's talks that there is talks about them moving up.
Mm-hmm.
For what, though? For Carnell Tate?
See, because now the media is thinking. See, the media right now, and I heard this today, they're trying to say that because George Pickens is only playing on the franchise tag, that Dallas is going to go get Jordan Tyson now. I'm like, no. We need more help on defense than we do Jordan Tyson.
If we trade up to go get a receiver, I'm
right.
I'm back on the firing of Mickey Loomis bandwagon.
Like literally, you could stay at 9 and still get Carnell Tate. You could stay at 8 and still get Carnell Tate.
You can trade back.
No. The 2 names I've heard with Washington is Sonny Styles and Carnell Tate. And Carnell Tate more so than Styles. If Tate is there at 7, that's Washington's pick, Carnell Tate. They're turning the card in within 5 seconds, and that's the pick.
Well, that's
Tate
fine.
Is gone, huh?
And that's fine, because I think Carnell Tate is very similar to what Chris Olave is.
I agree.
You don't need another Chris Olave. You need someone who's got a bigger body, which is why Jordan Tyson's been talked about with the Saints. If they go receiver, but do you go receiver? Which again, you can go draft a receiver in the 2nd round if that's the case too. You can, because they get the receiver from Louisville that Tyler Shug that was a former teammate of his that absolutely loves. Bell is what his last name is. You can go get your linebacker or safety at 8, and then or trade back and get your receiver in Jordan Tyson.
Yep.
Or even trade back, and you can even get, like I say, you can create more opportunities to get better, your players. If Sonny Styles is gone and Caleb Downs is gone, then trade back and just say we'll regroup and look for the best player available at that point, and then we go get more players in the second, third, and fourth round. Then we load up on picks from there. But again, Mickey doesn't think that way. So I'm hoping we don't trade up. We'll stay at 8. We get Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles, one of those two, and then we go get the receiver from Louisville in the second round.
Because I think my personal opinion is, here's my top 5 in no particular order: Mendoza, Bailey, Love, which is a mistake if Arizona takes him at 3, Alvel Reese, and Bain is my fifth top guy.
That's another one I've heard about for the Saints are high on.
Ruben Bain. Yeah, Bain is the one I've heard for the Saints. I've seen him mocked the most to the Saints.
Those are the two that I've heard that if Dallas does trade up, they want to get either Ruben Bain or Caleb Downs.
Dallas is trying to get to Cleveland's pick at 6. I think that's where they're trying to go.
They're trying to jump ahead of Washington because they think Washington's going to take Caleb Downs.
Exactly.
Well, I'm looking at it real quick. I'm looking at ESPN's mock. They said Tyson's going to the Giants. That's what they're mocking it as. Cleveland gets an offensive tackle.
Yeah, Fanu or something.
Cleveland definitely needs offensive tackle.
And sure. ESPN has the Saints taking Carnell Tate, which I'm not.
I don't think you need to get a receiver in round 1. A lot of times they don't pan out. A lot of times they bust out, and they don't play well. I think you get the receiver in the second, third, and fourth round. To be honest with you,
based off of this mock, though, I'm looking at and ESPN is ESPN, but if I look at it, you have Caleb Downs available at 8. Then, I'm drafting Caleb Downs.
Yeah, take him.
I'm not taking Carnell Tate. Like I said, I draft Caleb Downs in round 1, and I go get what the Bell
because they're very offensive minded first. When they don't realize a lot of teams need a lot of help. It's a lot of teams need a lot of help on defense too. So.
It's because of the head coach.
And this is a very defense plentiful draft too. This is one of the better defensive drafts in a long time. Like next year is going to be the quarterback draft. This year is the defensive draft.
But Jonathan, the reason why they have Tate going to the Saints is because of the head coach, Kellen Moore. He's an offensive guy. So they say, okay, he's an offensive guy. He's been a offense coordinator. We'll send him a wide receiver. Well, you got to play defense in order to you don't need another receiver in the first round. Go get Downs. Go get Mansour. Go get Bain. Go get Sonny Styles. Go get one of those guys. And then worry about your receiver.
I'm even looking at CBS. CBS Sports has Tate to the Saints too.
Yeah,
they have both. I'm looking to make sure I'm saying this correct here. They have both Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs available at 8,
and they're going to pick one of them. I think. I don't think they're going to go.
My last mock I did. I had the Giants taking both of those guys at 5 and 10.
I mean, yeah, like
who'd you have at 8, Alan?
6'2", 195.
Oh yeah, it was the tight end. It was the tight end Sadiq. Although
to the Saints.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Because I said that they have Juwan Johnson. I don't think they need to address that position.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure if they're sold on Juwan Johnson, to be honest. But that's neither here or there.
I think the Saints need to get an impact defensive player in the draft in the first round.
Yeah. More so than anything.
Yeah.
And it's got to be Caleb. It's got to be Caleb Downs. It has to be Caleb Downs at number 8. I think
that's what I would think. That's what I would think. But
either him or Sonny Styles, one of the two. I think you have to get one of those two guys.
Sonny Styles, the Commanders are on Styles and Tate. Okay, I get that. I understand that. Can't have them both. You got to pick one. The name that they came up with was Carnell Tate. If Tate is there for the Commanders, he's going there. He's not getting past them. Which means you, again, John, like you said, you could have Styles, Downs, Mansour, Bain. You could have 4 impact defensive guys sitting right there to pick. And you can't go wrong with any one of them.
And if that's the case, I agree with you. If that's the case, I'm calling the Giants. I'm calling somebody behind me saying, hey, who do you want, and let's make a trade back, because I know I'll still get one of those guys. If I'm at 8 and I call the Giants at 10, I'm at least guaranteed at least one of those guys.
Yep.
I'm guaranteed, because, again, I think you said Kansas City wants an offensive tackle. They want an offensive lineman, so they're not going defense. So if the Giants are wanting one of those defensive players, the Chiefs are going to go get off tackle. Of those 3, only one of them's getting picked. So you still have 2 guys that you're on your board at the top on the defensive side that you can go get then.
Or even do this. Alan, who's at 10 and 11? I mean, who's at 11 and 12? Dallas at 12.
Dallas is at 12, Dolphins at 11, Giants at 10 now.
So the Dolphins aren't taking a defensive guy. They need wide receivers desperately. Okay? So why wouldn't you call Dallas and say, hey, Dallas?
Yeah, Dolphins need either offensive tackle or wide receiver.
You're still going to get one of those 4 guys at 12. So why don't you call Dallas and Jerry Jones and say, hey, Jerry, how would you like to move up to 8? Give us the 12 and a 3rd rounder. Because if Caleb Downs is there, I guarantee you Jerry's going to try to move up any way possible. They love Caleb Downs. They're in love with him. So as Alan can attest,
all the Cowboys insiders I keep hearing are saying they love Caleb Downs, they love Reuben Bain.
But that's my concern. Again, if I know I can get Downs, Styles, and I'll throw Bain in there just because, if I know I can get them, if I drop to 10, because if I go too far down to if I want one of them, that means Dallas is going to take one of my guys. Then I'm going to lose. I may end up losing all of them at that point. I may lose because I think, again, the Giants are going to. If the Giants go receiver in their first pick, that second pick is going to be a defensive guy. Then I lose. So now I have Dallas takes a defensive player. If I trade back, Dallas is going to take a defensive player. Giants are going to take a defensive player. Now I'm stuck with one of the 3 that I was wanting at that point, and it may not be my choice of who I get then.
Jonathan, would you agree with this? Watch what the Giants do at 5. If they take a defensive player or an offensive lineman at 5, then you're making phone calls. Because I would definitely go wide receiver with their second pick. Definitely. Without hesitation in my mind. So
I would also say, Scott, watch Tennessee at 4 because that's another trade potential for us. Those are the two teams that I've heard the Cowboys are talking to are Tennessee and Cleveland. Tennessee and Cleveland to try to, because they either want to trade up in front of the Giants and get that star defensive player, or they want to trade in front of Washington and get Caleb Downs.
So if I'm New Orleans, if Cleveland trades with Dallas, I'm even calling Cleveland and say, hey, how would you like to get back in the top 10 again? Because Cleveland is going offensive line and wide receiver with their pick. Without question. They're doing that.
Then Cleveland has 2 first-round picks as well. So
right.
Real quick thought process here. Who's the Giants running back? Did they draft one last year?
Cam
Scatterboo.
Okay.
So if Love falls to 5, that would probably be
they're saying that it's going to be Jeremiah Love, but I don't think Jeremiah Love's getting past 4.
I don't think so either. So I think the Giants might move from 5 to 3.
Again, I think it's Cardinals are talking about Love a lot. I don't think the Titans go running back at 4.
I don't think so either.
I think for them, it's either Reese or Carnell Tate in Tennessee. I think
supposedly the Cardinals who are heavy on Love. That's from what the reports are. Again, I take it with a grain of salt on what it is, but it's a smokescreen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. With the Cardinals, so Love could fall to 5, and that could create an avalanche. That could create a lot of like interesting things happen, because there's always this avalanche of things that occur in the draft that just are out of nowhere. That if the Cardinals pass, and
like 3 years ago with the Texans when they got picks 2 and 3 right off the bat.
I'm trying to think, what would the Cardinals want? What would the Cardinals position wise? What if they don't go running back? What else do they need? I mean, I don't think they go receiver in the 3rd pick.
They would need defense. So if Arvell Reese was sitting there at 3, I think they would look at him.
Arvell Reese, which he will.
Yeah.
He goes 3. Titans,
I think, are either going line or
I think offensive lineman would be what they go towards then. And then that opens up basically saying, well, hey, we have Jeremiah Love and Cam Scatterboo, and it allows us to kind of limit how much pounding Scatterboo takes. I could see that be the case. Now you have to figure out, where that. I think that opens up Jordan Tyson going to the Commanders.
They want Tate, so if Tate's there, that's the pick. They're not high in Tyson. They want Tate. That's all I heard today.
Mm-hmm.
Tate to the Commanders. Tate to the Commanders, or Sonny Styles. They love them both. If the Giants don't take a defensive player at 5, then if I'm the Saints, I'm staying at 8. I'm not moving.
Yeah,
I'm staying there. Because
if that happens, Scott, if Jeremiah Love goes 5, Jerry's going to be blowing up the Cleveland GM's phone trying to get to number 6.
Plus, when we get to number 10 tomorrow night, Alan, the Giants are going defense. If they take Jeremiah Love, they're going defense. So that's why if I'm the Saints, I don't move out of 8. I don't even field any calls. I just take either Downs or Mansour or Bain or Styles.
Well, Scott, we've talked about our 2 teams. What do the Patriots do? Do they trade back? Do they draft the guard or trade up?
They banned Mike Vrabel from contacting Diana Rossini.
Yeah, call Diana. She'll tell you exactly what they're doing. If this AJ Brown trade rumor is true, the Patriots trade now. They trade now. They don't need to. They need a wide receiver as the team stands right now.
Because supposedly this is going to be a post-June 1st trade. Is what.
That's why it'll be. We'll know tomorrow night if the AJ Brown trade is real or if it's just a smokescreen. I think it's real. I think he's coming here to New England.
But Vrabel didn't like trading him away, did he? From Tennessee.
Breaking news: Diana Rossini's been hired as the assistant GM of the Patriots. So congratulations, Diana.
That's what I'm looking at. CBS. CBS does have they have the Patriots trading out of the 31st pick.
That's where Arizona would go if Ty Simpson's on the board.
Ty Simpson is what their is. So
yep.
If the Jets aren't stupid and pick him at 16,
the Patriots would move back 2 or 3 spots and probably pick up more draft capital, and that would be the smartest thing they could ever do.
Yeah, because that what you're basically taking Cardinals' 2nd round pick and probably getting a 4th rounder as well later on.
Yep, because Arizona's dying for Ty Simpson. They want to get him. They're not taking him at 3. If Pittsburgh passes him by, which they probably will, then Arizona's going to.
Oh man, if they draft him at 3,
there's no way.
Arizona.
No way.
No wonder why that franchise is down the tubes.
The owner wants Jeremiah Love in the worst.
There is always a pick that just comes out of nowhere, and it's always the same teams. It's always like the 5 same teams that make the pick: the Cardinals, the Browns,
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Sometimes every few years or so they'll do one.
Yep.
We know it's going to come. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of who does it and when does it happen. Yeah. And I'm with you. I don't see Ty Simpson going 3, but would it shock me that if it was the case? No,
it wouldn't shock me. No, it would not shock me. Would not shock me.
And again, it's a pick that would just send an avalanche throughout the draft.
Alan, I think me and you are going to be sitting on the draft coverage tomorrow night. And we're going to say that first. I think the Jets will be the first team that you go, what? They picked that guy?
Yeah.
At 16?
16, yeah. Ty Simpson.
Do we not think David Bailey's going too?
I think he's going too. I really do. I think he is. The thing that tips me off is the last 3 Jets first-round picks, they've canceled the visit.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They wouldn't be the one that makes the shock pick then. This year, not this year at least.
If not at 2, then at 16 for sure. For sure. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a status quo draft until we get to the middle teens. And then it's going to be.
I mean, unless the Cardinals do something.
Unless the Cardinals.
How far back do you think the Cardinals trade, if they do trade? To Dallas?
I don't think they do. I could see Dallas trading into the top 5.
Yeah. But that's to get, if they're going to 3, it's Sonny Styles.
You think so?
If it's 3, it's either Reese or Downs at 3. Depending on what
would be way too early though.
Yeah.
Way too early.
I can't imagine them going to 3 because I think Jerry would would still say
You have to give up way too much to get to 3.
Yeah, you would be giving up 12, 20, and then like something else on top of that.
Agreed. I totally agree. They would lose any leverage they have in first round.
Mm-hmm.
If I was Dallas, I almost wouldn't trade out.
Would you be surprised if George Pickens gets traded?
No. I wouldn't be shocked if they pull the franchise tag from him either.
Literally, because Stevens already said he's playing on the tag this year. So,
well, Dallas reporters said that they wouldn't be surprised if Dallas was to take a wide receiver at 12 or 20 and then pull the franchise tag on George and allow him to walk. Because they can't pay Dak, Lamb, Pickens all that money.
And you gave your kicker a 4-year deal too,
and you just gave your kicker $7 million a year. Freaking kicker, $7 million.
Kick it from one side of the field to the other. So,
real quick, guys, to go back to baseball real fast, the Atlanta Braves have announced that they are calling up their top pitching prospect J.R. Ritchie to start tomorrow against the Nationals.
Wow! No, holy cow! Here we go.
If he pitches a 5 or 6 inning gem,
I've been saying all show May, and we'll see J.R. Ritchie in May.
Jonathan, we'll take Ritchie for Crochet in a couple of years.
I'm sure you would. I'm sure you would.
Crochet and Jared Duran.
Oh, don't trade them both in the same deal. Trade Duran to like Kansas City for like Pasquantino and a couple other guys.
Just to kind of throw this out there to you guys, how his stats have been this season. He's 3-1. J.R. Ritchie, so far in the minor league in AAA, he's 3-1, 0.99 ERA in 5 games, 27 1/3 inning, 15 hits. He's given up 3 runs. He's walked 13, but he struck out 28. He's got a batting average against 0.167 with a 102 whip.
He's got nothing left to prove in AAA in the minors. Nothing.
Yeah.
Not a thing. So start him tomorrow. Pitches really well. Bring him along slowly.
Pirates Rangers tied at 4 going into the 9th.
Anybody know how the Red Sox did tonight?
4-1.
They scored a run.
They scored a run.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. The Padres are getting blasted in Colorado. This is like shocking.
10 hits. Holy cow.
They're down 5-1 in the 5th inning. They just shut them out 1-0 last night.
The first time a team has won 1-0 in Colorado since 2006.
I saw that. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I saw that.
I was like, that just shows you how bad that ballpark is for pitchers. If we've haven't had a 1-0 game.
It's like pitch. I'll be honest. It's like pitch. It's like our conference that we for Coastal Bend. Every ballpark the wind blows out, and you're facing some of the best hitters in the country in junior college baseball, and we've actually had a handful of 1-0 games where we're sitting there like, wow, this is crazy.
That's insane. All right, Jonathan, how are things going with you in Coastal Bend? I know you said you're fighting for a postseason spot. How we doing?
That we are right now. This late in the season, this is the first time Coastal Bend, it's a Division I junior college program, is in the tournament hunt this late in the season. We have 2 weeks left. We have this week and next week. We are 2 games out of the final tournament position. The team that is ahead of us, we play in a 3-game set this week. So we are in this is postseason baseball for us. We have been able to put in our boys' heads that this is what everything we've gone through, all the work that we put in the weight room and on the field from August to today. This is the moment that and essentially I promised them. I said this is what we're going to work towards. This is what we're going to get. And thankfully they proved me to be a truth teller, not a liar. But we have gotten to this point, and I think we're as focused as we've ever been, understanding what's at hand for us. That we control our destiny, even though we're 2 games behind. in a 3-game set, we handle business. We're in it now. We're right where we want to be and jumping in that 4th spot. So I have been hard at work on scouting reports for us. I've been putting a lot of notes together, game plans together, and on who we're facing and what we're looking towards, and putting the game plan offensively. I think my boys are ready to go. I think we're excited. It sucks. We were supposed to play tomorrow. Weather has kind of hit us down here in South Texas. So our game tomorrow has now been pushed to Friday. So we play 1 game on Friday on the road, and then we play 2 games here at home on Saturday. So we handle 1 on the road. We handle the 1 game on that road. We have everything that we want to be at our hands on Saturday to handle business. Even if we were to win the series 2-1, we would still be 1 game behind, but we still have 4 games next week to try to get some help at the same time, handle business what we need to do. But getting them focused, getting them prepared mentally. Like, we've been dealing with a lot of rain all week. We finally got on the field for the first time today because of how much rain we've gotten, and it's just been a lot of mental training, a lot of mental preparation, and putting things together. So I've been very little sleep, because I'm just excited. There's nothing better. We always talk about this when we watch, Major League Baseball and even the college baseball and the college world. There's nothing more exciting than postseason style baseball, and it eats me up because I want to play. I still have that fire to want to be on the field and compete. So it hurts me as a coach that I can't be on the field with them. But at the same time, watching these boys work so hard to have this chance, this opportunity. For Coastal Bend baseball has been looked at as just the bottom of the barrel team, and we are just games away from being able to do our job and handle business to be in the postseason in the toughest JUCO conference in the country, and for the limitations that we have. Because as I've told you guys, every school in our conference has 18 full ride scholarships. We only have 1. Our school only allows us to have 1 full ride scholarship. And the fact that we're this competitive despite that limitation speaks volumes to the work that these boys have been able to put in this season, and what we've been able to do to build a culture of winning and a foundation that has been built all year. It's a testament to these work that these boys have been put in, and us as coaches. But as I tell them, the only way we're going to be successful and make the postseason is what these boys do. And they have done everything that I've asked for them to do, with some moments of making me have more gray hair than I probably should at 35 years old. And they keep reminding me that every chance they can. But this has been a fun group. It's always sad when the season gets close to the end, because even at the JUCO level, we only get these boys for 2 years and then they move on. And this is being my 2nd year. So the freshmen last year, they were sophomores this year. I got 2 more weeks, at least 2 more weeks with them. Hopefully 1 more after this, but and then we move on from there. So this has been it's been a great season with this group, and I'm hoping we have our success this week. So when I get a show with you guys again next week, and I just talk proudly of these boys. And what we're going to do, and hopefully make the conference tournament after this and whatnot. But at the end of the day, this has been one of my more fun groups that have been around, and hardworking groups that I think that if there's a team in the country at any level that deserves an opportunity to play postseason baseball, it is this 2026 Coastal Bend Cougars, because of just what they've dealt with, all the adversity they come across with, all the adversity that we deal with as a program. And they just show up every day working hard and doing everything they're supposed to do. And that's why we're in this position that we're just a series away from jumping into the postseason conference tournament, is because of what these boys do. So I'm proud of them. I'm excited that we get this opportunity this week, and we get the chance to go handle business on Friday.
Mm-hmm. Scott, you and I are going to be back tomorrow night. We'll be joined by undisputed champ, of course, to talk NFL draft and cover the entirety of round 1. Friday night and Saturday night following both rounds. Both days we'll do a recap show as well of night 2, and then a full 7-round recap. We'll go over how teams did, who did what, who were our best teams, who are our worst teams, all that stuff. We'll do that on Saturday, and then of course you, myself, and Tanner lock it in on Saturday morning as well. So before that draft show. So, and
ESPN Radio tomorrow in Jacksonville, 690 with the Rec Room
ESPN
guys.
690. Yep.
with you and with myself. Bo will be a special guest day of draft, which will be great. We got an orthopedic doctor on that will talk about NBA injuries. And Jonathan, good luck this weekend. I mean, this is
absolutely
a lifetime. This is a once in a lifetime chance almost that you guys get. So good luck.
Appreciate it.
Go kill him. Go kill him. That's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely.
If we handle, I'll say this: if we handle business, we jump, we win on. We play on Tuesday next week. If we win that, and we increase the gap, I might be on the show on Wednesday with a cigar and scotch with you guys. I know for sure.
Remember, next week is top 10 week, so
you might have me drunk a little bit. You might have me.
Off the camera on the computer is the bottle of champagne in a big thing of ice, ready to go.
That's for when we do clinch. I promise you this: if we clinch the tournament, we clinch. I will bring champagne bottles into the office at the ball field, and we will pop champagne at the ball field. I will not care. I will. I'll say this
is a once in a lifetime chance for Coastal Bend to do something that's never happened before.
And I'll say, and to be as humble as possible, and I understand what my role has been as an assistant coach, but and my head coach knows this too, and he allows me to say this: I built this roster.
Yeah.
I'm the recruiting coordinator. He gives me full autonomy to build a roster and do what I need to do to bring in players for us. I built this team. I built this roster, and I told him, and I reminded him this actually over. Even though we're not there yet, but I looked at last year's team and I stepped in. It was my first year, and I didn't have that roster constructed. It wasn't my this team this year. I did, and I looked at him and I go, I'm building us a team that where we don't have to deal with the issues that we dealt with last year, the losing that we dealt with, the struggles that we dealt with. I told him I'm not doing this again. And I said, if you give, and I asked him, it's like, will you give me full autonomy? He goes, it's yours. You do what you need to do to build a roster. And I said, done. And I looked and I said, we're not losing anymore. We're not losing like this. We're going to be competitive every game. Even if we lose, we're going to be competitive every game. And we're going to do things. We're going to change how we do things, but how I constructed. So I constructed this roster. I do take pride in the fact that we're right on the door. And for my, and building my resume, as I told you guys, hey, my goal is to be a head coach. And I'm just adding to my resume of what I'm able to do. But so I do take with a lot of pride that my roster I constructed for us at this program is right on the cusp of doing something this program's never done at the Division I JUCO level, and being able to be a playoff team and a conference tournament team. So, yeah, you're right. This is, there's no guarantee for next year. It's as good as I'll say, as good as my recruiting class is next year that I built, and it's really good actually. There's still no guarantee. There's no guarantee we're going to have success next year. So we got to run with it this year and do what we can. So if we get there, great. I'm going to celebrate with it. I'm going to have my champagne, and I'm going to have my scotch, and I'm going to have my cigars, and I'm going to do everything. If we get there, if we get to the tournament, there's going to be. I said I'll probably do a show drunk with you boys if we get to that point. I mean, and I hope I don't screw things up with it and make us look like fools if I do. But no. It's just because again, like it's the amount of work is taken. And even for me, like I constructed the team, but I also I'll go say I've changed how we do things here at Coastal Bend. I've changed how we practice. I changed how we organize things with the program. I run practices for us. I put together the plans of what we do. I've taken on a bigger role than probably any assistant coach in the country, and it has done at any level, because that was what was necessary for us. And my head coach was understanding, and he goes, hey, this is my weaknesses. I'm not good at this side of things, of the organization or structure. I'm not good at it as much as you are. So help me. Done. And so there's a lot of things that we changed, and we're benefiting. Like I said, the recruiting side, I've got a lot of talented kids in Texas now, that are coming here next year that see what we are doing, and they want to be part of this. And so, it's a testament to a lot. Again, the work that the boys do, but there is a lot of pride. There is a lot of pride of the work that I've done this season, and what has come in benefit. And It's built my resume up that if when I start looking for head coaching jobs in my future, that I have something that's going to be very tangible for schools to look at and say, yeah, hey, this is impressive, and be able to run with it. But we get to the point of where the tournament, yeah, I'll have my bottle of scotch on one side, I'll have a champagne bottle on the other side, and we're just going to have some fun with it. I'll be like AJ Hawk on the Pat McAfee show with a cigar in my office too while we're at it. I won't care.
By the way, Alan, did you get Tanner's text? Coastal Bend's a minus 135 favorite, by the way.
Oh, Pirates are up 5-4 right now. Pirates take the lead.
Hey, that was our team. That was our team. Yeah, that was our team.
Hey, when we win on Friday, I'll let y'all know immediately. I'll send y'all a message on it, what it is and everything. And like our games are live streamed too, so if anybody y'all want to watch, or I'll send y'all the link for the games to watch.
Send the link. I'll watch it on Friday.
Sure.
When I'm.
I think at the moment our big Dominican. So we have my big Dominican pitcher, our number one. He's 6'5", 240, throws 96 to 97.
Oh my God.
We've had the Dodgers, we've had Yankees, we have had Giants, we've had Astros, we've had the Cardinals, we've had the Reds, we've had the Marlins. All been scouting them.
So the first two teams you just said go away. Don't no scouting. Go
I didn't
away.
talk to them. I didn't talk to them.
Dodgers, Yankees. Goodbye. See you later.
Dodgers. I did actually have to talk to the because me having pro experience, my head coach doesn't have the experience that so I had to talk to the scout. One, I recruited the kid, but I also gone through the experience of understanding what the scouting world is like. So I had to be the one to talk to the Dodger scout. And, I wanted to be like, hey, screw you, go Braves.
Great.
Almost as fun as the time you wore a Braves hat to Mets practice.
Yes.
There you go.
Again, I know you love that story, Alan. I know you do.
Oh, that is beautiful. I love it.
It's phenomenal.
I had my conversation with Curtis Granderson outside, and him leading me into the clubhouse at Port Lucie with my brace hat still on. Yeah. Oh,
You're gonna wear that? You're gonna wear that in here? Really? Yeah, seriously?
Oh, he loved it. He thought it was fun. Curtis loved it. He thought it was the funniest thing. And then I was like, he walked me into the big league clubhouse and and said, hey, look at so and so right here. He's coming to do a workout with the minor league club, and they all see the Braves hat on there. A lot of cuss words. A lot of cuss words were being coming my way.
Yeah, those are the good days. That was me. What was it? A couple of years ago when I was on the Just Fans podcast. They're all Astros fans, and that was when me and Carlos made the bet on the ALCS, and I ended up winning it. So that was great.
Gotta love winning a bet.
The one of like 5 that I've won.
Yeah, Alan's out of the betting business, so
yeah, we're not doing actual bets here. Not doing that
just
no
lock
more.
it in bets. That's it.
Just lock it in bets. We'll stick to that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. This is why I love doing this show. We just, kind of shoot the shit and every once in a while talk about baseball. It's great. Again, next Wednesday is our April top 10, which should be interesting considering how crazy the start of the season has been. Red Sox number 1.
Not even close. No top 10 for the Red Sox. They're out. See ya. Bye.
They're done. Same for the Royals. Done. Bye.
Yep.
Top 10 next week. It should be interesting to see what kind of stories we see over the course of the next week for baseball. But yeah, that should be fun. Anything else, gentlemen, before we end off the show tonight?
Have a good night. Here. Everybody watch the draft tomorrow night with us. Be fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much. Also, bye, Spotify.
Bye, Spotify.
Guys, have a wonderful night. We'll be back next Wednesday. Until then, love y'all. Stay safe. Take care.
Bye.